So good.
Buonasera. Good evening, everyone. And welcome to Fate's Grip, an Australian Dungeons and Dragons. I was going to say podcast because there are just so many podcasts out there. We are a podcast that also shows video.
We're a vodcast.
We are a vodcast. Is that right? Sounds like
No,
Vomcast.
but here's the thing. We're not actually a podcast because we go live. We don't edit.
Everything is unedited prior to stream.
Unfiltered.
Very.
Yeah, so these.
Oh yeah, everyone's stream now on stream.
Oh.
That's because you connected to the speaker.
Oh, that's amazing. Just a random speaker behind me just starts to play my voice. Welcome. As you can see, we are without two of our beloved members. One of them is Thulrom, who will be with us very shortly. The other is Barclays, and we have his character image there, and he won't be joining us this evening. So hearty. Oh, whoa.
Every time. You're like the culprit every time.
It's volume. It's great.
Consistency.
It's like a technology thing. So no Barclays this evening. Hope the party doesn't need him to save the day, because otherwise.
When did we ever needed that?
Oh. Shots fired and he's not even here.
I mean, I did try to kill him that one time.
You did. If I tweak audio all the time, so please in the chat, if you're in the chat, thank you very much for joining us. If you're there and you feel like you can't hear someone, I can very easily move things around audio-wise. So that'd be great if you can let us know. So we are how many? We are. It's like you're just touching the microphone. It's great.
I was just seeing if it had any effect on that bit.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's okay. He was just being silly.
Yeah.
I wasn't being silly. I was testing it.
No, I like it. The how many are we from 700 and
Ooh, let me check.
a possible costume?
4. We're 4 followers away from 700. I will share with the stream.
Please.
That today our wonderful DM was asking me how he should rhinestone his body if it gets to 700. So that's something to look forward to.
Rhinestone.
Yeah, he's going to bedazzle himself as a costume.
With these.
I'm going to throw some glitter at him. It's going to be a good
It's going to go in my eyes and my nostrils, and it's going to be
nostrils.
great. You get that?
That'll be cute.
No. It's a Jerry Lewis.
No, I get it.
Oh, right. My
This
nostrils.
is starting out so well.
It is. I think we're good. So shout-outs. Any shout-outs that you would all like to do?
My name is Thulroms, and you can check us out on the YouTube page.
Definitely
if
YouTube.
I update it.
He does. He's very good at
I'm
that.
joking. Let me throw some shade.
Okay. Well, there's lots of shade in the room. So yes, YouTube. Please see our latest episodes right there from a couple of episodes back. But we're about 2 weeks. I think that every week he puts up like 2 from 2 weeks ago.
I think we're like 2 episodes behind on the not the stream,
No.
the YouTube. But
This is actually happening 2 weeks ago.
what better way than to stay up to date than to subscribe to our channel, where you can watch it live, or if you don't want to subscribe, that's cool. Let's just follow it.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Or if you don't want to do that, that's fine too. Just
send us
comment.
Just chat.
That's fine.
Just say hi in the chat and tell us what a great job or a not so great job I'm doing, because these guys can't be faulted. So.
Don't know about that.
So thank you. Yes. What else have we got? Anything else you'd like to share?
Yeah, Meeples and Dragon again. Fantastic group. 6 shirts. Don't know if you can see it. Also, they've got some glasses coming out.
Class glasses.
Class glasses, which I'm actually looking quite forward to.
Go get yourself one of those.
Drinking glasses, because I am a bit of a fiend and I like things to drink out of.
Just to come off the back of that, So Meeples and Dragons, if you haven't tuned into our stream, they are an Australian Dungeons and Dragons and tabletop role-playing store that supply to Australia, New Zealand and international. They focus heavily on independent content creators and also other stuff. My brain just went these glasses are being revealed one a day with different classes. If you haven't seen them, they're on the Twitter, or you can check them out on their website, which is meeplesanddragons.com.au. Sarah and John, it's always lovely having you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
While
very
we're
classy.
speaking of shout-outs, I'm going to shout out another company that we're super passionate about and super excited to be involved with. We are all massive fans here. I myself am a dice goblin. Preston is a dice goblin. We're all dice goblins. And our dice of choice is typically Kraken dice. Every single person just held up a Kraken dice. So that was great.
Hell yeah. Clip that.
That was not planned. Kraken dice.
They're beautiful.
If you have tuned in and heard us say it's a Kraken, it's not because we're sponsored or being paid by these guys. We genuinely are not. It is because we love their dice and it's fun to say it's a Kraken. If you go onto our Twitter @FatesGrip, you can find our pinned tweet where we are currently giving away a 12-piece set of dice, courtesy of Kraken Dice. These are the legendary set, Shifting Sands. They're a really nice peachy colour. In it you get 2d20, 4d6, a d2, and every other dice you need for Dungeons & Dragons. But because they are super generous and we love them so much, we are going to also tack onto that a Titan d20. It is huge. It makes this noise when you roll it. That was a 19.
A 19, what a roll.
So
we're not going to see another 19 for the rest of the session.
to enter, retweet the tweet, follow us on Twitter, and like the tweet.
That was cool.
And like the tweet, that's 2 entries if you like and retweet. But tonight we're going to be dropping a new code word to get you a couple of extra entries. If you entered last week, this will be your 4th entry. If you haven't, then this will be your 3rd.
That's right.
I guess. So tune in to somewhere during the episode where we might drop a code word that might get you an entry. Otherwise,
It'll probably be just before the break.
Who knows? You'll have to tune in and find out. But thank you once again, Kraken Dice. We love you so much. Special shout out to Aaron, who has been in contact with me. Sent him through some clips of us announcing our dice giveaway. He was super stoked and was like, I hope you guys get 1,000 soon.
Oh, good on you. Thank you, Aaron. Much appreciated. Thank you. And you are thoroughly confused, Gunnar.
What's the name of the guy? Is that okay?
I was just confused. I said it like we would know who it was.
Oh, yeah, our mate. Our buddy.
Yeah.
Our best friend.
Yeah,
in the
mate.
world.
Where's he from?
You're all our friends in the chat.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. Yeah, giveaway. And look, who knows? Maybe down the track, if you're not successful this time, we may have more in
We
store.
might have a whole box.
Yeah.
Maybe a whole box? Interesting.
Help us support you.
That's it. Yeah. Enjoy yourself.
Yeah, supporting us.
Amazing. Cool. Thank you very much, Emily. Anything else that you'd like to share?
Probably just another shout out to everybody who's joining us. Thank you so much every week. We're for like the last 12 or 13 now. We've hit the ground running, so amazing support from everybody, so thank you. And hopefully we can give you some dope content.
I think I had a conversation with you, Michele, the other day about how crazy it is that like we have had to consider even doing anything remotely close to like business related things for this stream.
Yeah.
Like we literally started this stream in the middle of isolation, being like, "Hey, do you know what would be fun?
And
Streaming."
I know. It has been certainly a wild ride, but and learned so many new things, and just really just specced up on how all this setup works, and the business side of things. Lots of stuff to think about as well. Lots of responsibility.
It's real weird.
It is. It's weird, but it's exciting too.
I just remembered I have another shout out. This weekend on Saturday, we will be filming something that will premiere on the 31st of October. And if you don't know what the 31st of October is, it's
Christmas.
It's
For witches.
It's Spoopy Day. It is spooky.
It's Witchmas.
It is
Merry Witchmas.
spooky Halloween Day. We will be playing a collaborated one-shot with Cosmic Dice Podcast.
Yes.
So
Looking forward to that.
Featuring Ben
Yeah, Sweaty Ben.
and Preston.
the three that are here.
You can tune in and watch a horror-related fun
Who's DMing?
dice rolling thing. I don't know. Boom.
This guy.
Wow.
Ah!
That was a 2, you failed.
Okay.
He's dead now.
But please tune in to the Halloween special that these three are going to be a part of. And cool.
Yeah.
It's going to be exciting. I can't wait to see what you guys get up
So
to.
Thulrom's just like chloroform for the first half of the episode.
As is Barclays. Shall we get into it then?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Shall we? Okay. Let me just set the mood.
Oh, mood was set.
Okay. So let's see what we've got. Okay, so we're going to recap, and we're going to. Sorry for that odd silence, but hopefully the music captured you. So, let us recap from session 34. You all, Thulroms Five, escaped the corridor, the endless doorway to adventures and places untold, back to Shan with Obra Dinn, and discovered in front of you a vast array of unfamiliar alleyways in the great city, this street of splendorous delights of tobacco, herbs and medicinal samples, as well as some frowned upon poisons that you all went in to discover. After some conversation with shopkeepers and purchasing of these items, you contacted Fariso and was asked by him to make your way to the Morgrave University, where the House representatives and their gifts of Dragonmarks were waiting. You entered a vast antechamber after climbing staircases of neat but worn stone, and met with the houses, eager to bestow power and responsibility on you. You were also greeted by the 12 archmages of Corvair that represent and protect the houses from the floating towers of Arcanix, most of which you had not met yet, but a couple that you had, Malestra being there of House Cannith, as well as Fariso himself. You picked your houses, knew their power, and all but Amara were given the boon. You decided afterward to return to the Temple of Ilyanar to see the status of your fight against a potential sleeping enemy. And that's where we left off. So, as you are all leaving the Morgrave University, you are, as a group, starting to make your way out of this vast building of knowledge and artifacts when Fariso and a member, the representative of House Galanda, stops you. Fariso saying, Barclays, a moment if you will. You can catch up to your friends a bit later. Barclays turns for a moment. Well, I guess if you, Fariso, need to have a chat, then, of course, I would be more than happy to. Friends, would that be okay if I stay for a while and parley with this grand figure?
I guess it would probably be a good idea considering last time you came to the monastery, yeah, let's just say it didn't go well.
I don't remember that.
I do.
Very well. Well, I will wait here with Theresa, but I will. Where you are simply going to the temple, yes?
I was actually going to ask you guys. I have realized that we haven't rested since. It was a long time, right? Maybe we should take some time. Maybe we shouldn't rush into this. Maybe we should just. I want to go. Let's go, but let's maybe sleep first.
Osei looks at you all and says, "Well, I think that is a grand idea. You do not look well."
Thank you, Osei.
It's simply an observation, not. I'm simply. It's coming from a place of care.
Okay. Frieza, where can we sleep?
Where's the dead girl?
Frieza says, "You can sleep in any number of inns."
So not here.
No, the Mulgrave University does not have an adjacent tavern or place of rest, no. However, there have been students and lecturers and philosophers and researchers that have simply slept on the floor during their long hours of looking for a particular book and such.
Where do the students sleep?
They sleep in their homes. You mean here at the Mulgrave University? Or after they have finished their research?
Well, don't they have to come from other places?
I'd assume their homes.
So people only from Sharn can study here then?
Not at all. There are plentiful villages outside of Shan that come in. The campus at Rote has a teleportation device that allows students from Rote to come quite quickly as well.
Barclays,
Yes.
before we depart, surely you would know of a nice Galander inn from here to the monastery?
I do. From here, what you do is you go down to Lower Jura. You could also go up to Tavik's Landing Upper. I would suggest going there first. Then you go to the Golden Inn of the Sun.
That sounds rather pleasant, and that's on the way.
It's not far. It's not far. About half an hour walk.
Which is closer?
The Sun.
Let's go there.
No, Gunnar, it is not the actual sun.
I know.
Amara actually laughs.
Barclays, thank you. And I put my arm on his shoulder.
You're welcome.
I lean in. Are you okay? You don't seem present.
Fuck.
I'm not sure. When Fariso and this House representative talk to me, I may have some more information on that. My mind has travelled a bit since coming here. It's odd. The mark I was given,
Oh yeah.
I feel no different. Perhaps this is what the conversation will be about, but I digress.
If you need assistance, do your little diddly thing and let us know.
I will diddle,
My thing.
of course.
Rook.
Yes, Rolling talks in movies.
I understand what you mean. The message.
Correct, yes.
It's a copper
Of course.
Ah. I didn't know that. Alright, so we're going our way then.
Yeah, someone might want to carry Thulrum.
Thorum's
Why
like,
are you looking at me?
Thorum says, "Nah, bruh. Nah, just gonna walk in front. I know the way."
Okay, should we follow Thulrum?
Alright, Thulrum, lead the way.
Come on. And he, with this large form of
I'm
a...
gonna assist him getting there because I'm concerned about his ability to.
Okay, sure. How are you assisting him?
Like, just making sure he's not misleading us the wrong way.
Make an insight check.
It's true, he's not good at navigation in real life.
It's true. Inside? 18.
Okay. You you're fairly certain he's simply going in the direction in which he was given by Barclays.
Okay.
There's no deception. There's no shortcuts,
I'm more
nor.
worried about his memory.
Okay. Yeah. From what he was saying, from his tone, it seemed like he was confident.
Okay. Good. Thank you, Thulrom. Let's go.
Fariso bids you farewell. Osei follows, and you find yourselves outside the Mulgrave University. It's now becoming evening. It's probably about 6 o'clock after that short visit to the Mulgrave University and the instilling of the Dragonmarks. And as you walk to a platform that leads you over a bridge of this golden silver metal, completely made of metal, and the bridge itself becomes very narrow in the middle and then stretches out again like two curves going inward from where you are to Upper Tavik's Landing. And it's sort of slightly angled upward. There are some citizens of Shan and some other bodies that are pushing past you towards the centre of the bridge, but otherwise they don't seem to notice you're passing. You hear in the distance, and you turn, which you haven't noticed before, but there are alcoves within certain towers a little bit away from you in this tower that looks like a queen chess piece. And in one of the alcoves there seems to be a family of owls that hoot and echo that sound throughout this small area that you are traversing. You cross that bridge successfully. And I do so hear perhaps a visitor. As you continue your way forth, you find yourselves going around a platform, a balcony of sorts on the tower that's shaped like this chess piece, large and round. And you go across yet another bridge below you, just again, levels of lower Jura and middle Jura. Have you eaten? Did you see the food? All right. Welcome, Thor.
You're leading the way right now.
As always.
Thor, you didn't miss much. Thank you so much for joining us.
I'm sorry I'm late.
Oh, you're fine. The party has exited the Mulgrave University and is heading towards the Golden Inn of the Sun, a House Galandian abode, an inn, in Upper Tavik's Landing, where Barclays suggested. But Barclays is behind. He's not joining us this evening, and he is just in the middle of a discussion with Fariso and House Galanda.
Did you see my text message?
Oh, sorry. Let me just quickly do that.
Can I ask a player question? Did Amara decide on a dragon mark yet, or is she still pondering it?
I do not have a dragon mark. We are going to rest before we go to my monastery.
Nice.
Yes, it is.
A little sweet.
I did, however, have to insight check you to see if you were leading us the correct way.
Was I?
Yes.
Of course I was.
Sorry guys, I'm just trying to fix this little echo that we've got here. Thank you so much for letting us know. We'll see how that goes. So moving along, please update us. Thank you so much, Insidious. You cross the second bridge, which is an extremely large wooden bridge with a crisscross design at the floor. And directly in front of you, you see this large two-story oval-shaped golden building that is only a short walk from this large gate that bars your way into Upper Tavik's Landing. This particular doorway is open, however, and people are freely moving back and forth. The crowd lessens. It becomes a lot quieter once you cross this bridge into Upper Tavik's Landing, and looking beyond, you notice that there are very few people that are traversing and walking between the buildings beyond this gate. People seem to be moving out instead of in. As Thulrom continues, you walk through the gate without needing to stop. And this particular building is easily identifiable by a large sign that faces towards you, that is hanging on what looks to be a flagpole, and it says House Galander, Inn of the Sun, and it has an emblem of a bright orange sunset in the dead center. You see light shining out, reflecting off this gold-plated balconies, and you see many windows that have that as you look through have plenty of patrons within that are making quite a lot of ruckus.
I'm going to go straight up to the main entrance and stride right on in.
Okay. Thulrom marches through.
I follow through.
Okay.
I feel confident this is so close.
Okay, let's go.
Okay.
How do you all feel after your Dragonmarks?
I feel energized, more perceptive, clear-headed.
You do seem quite cheery.
Yes.
Usually, it takes a moment or so for you to register that I'm saying something to you.
That's it, I know. It's like my, it's like a miser that I was performing up this dragon mark.
Really?
Yeah, and I turn and lift up my robes, revealing my lower back tattooed dragon mark.
That's a nice tattoo.
As you, I mean, you
I've
all.
seen a similar thing in the settlements from the women.
I don't know, but I still like it.
You do notice, and it's a slightly different looking dragon mark than what you saw, Rook, as you all see as you take stock of that.
Those infinity signs.
The dragon mark on your back, Thulrom, still burns slightly, and as you look around, you see that it has in fact replaced the scales that you're used to seeing. It's as though you have either another layer or another type of glowing, slightly glowing, but more. It's as though as you look at it, you can see through it into this colourful purple and blue space.
So I still have like, you can see through the scales.
Essentially, yes.
Still my like hide, I guess you call it.
Yeah. Where this marking is intricately set out, where this blue and purple lines appear and glow slightly.
What colour am I underneath the scales?
If you were to take that off, you'd be sort of like a burnished brown.
Cool. Sorry, I just never imagined myself without the scales before. Thanks.
So, you walk in, and immediately in front of you, you see that there is a middle section, a round middle section in this square building on the inside, and you see that the center of this bottom level has about 5 bartenders making drinks, putting them onto little trays, moving them through this crowded tavern of tables, chairs. Some of them are knocked over. These chairs. There's this really strong smell of beer. It doesn't look like the kind of establishment that you would think Barclays has described as a House Galandian proper looking tavern. It is rough. You see humans as the majority. A lot of sailors, a lot of dock workers after a long day of work coming here from the Dagger River to the west. You see a few dwarves, a fair amount of half-elves, so slightly taller, slightly elongated faces, angular with these slight pointy ears. And you notice that there are a couple of half-orcs as well in a corner, making a loud ruckus but not really caring. A good amount of gnomes as well, and halflings in separate areas too. You don't get a greeting, but you do come in, and the first row of tables is probably only a couple of meters in front of you.
Amara,
Yes.
quick meal and then rest, or
Yeah. I wouldn't mind eating something. I didn't eat at the tavern.
well, you must be hungry.
I could eat.
What do you expect we're going to encounter at the monastery? I wasn't there with you last time.
Nor was I.
I don't know how much I've told you guys about my monastery. What do you know?
Not much.
Little, yeah.
Let's sit down. You guys can get a drink. I'll eat, and I'll kind of, I guess, maybe I'll try and give you a small rundown.
Rum down?
Run down,
okay.
Rook. I don't drink.
Ah, fair.
I'll tell you what, since this is something that I should be dealing with, I will shout the drinks. What would you like?
I'll have a mug of ale.
Rook?
I'll accompany you to the bar.
Okay. Gunnar, would you like something to drink? Like a juice or a soda or something?
Something bubbly.
Something what?
Bubbly.
Okay. I'm gonna make my way to, I guess, the bar if I see one.
I'm gonna call out.
Fizzy.
Okay.
I'm gonna call out. I'll get a table. I mentioned Barclay's name. We might get a discount.
Okay.
I'll look for a table.
As you make your way beyond the first row, there are several tables free. A lot of the chairs have been moved to other tables, but you do find one on the right-hand side as you enter, about 3 rows over, that you can squeeze past and have a seat, and one enough for everyone. You're directly adjacent to a table with a lot of halflings on it. As you sit, who's following Thulrom? Is everyone except Amara going to sit?
I'm with Amara at the bar. Yeah.
Gunnar, what are you doing?
I'll just stick with the rest of the group.
So these two are going to the bar, Thulrom's sitting down.
Oh, then him.
Yeah, that's fine. You sit down with Thulrom. As you two head to the bar, you see this large dragon-born figure of green scales and this extremely long snout, these eyes that are sunken back into his scaled or small-scale face, this yellow hair going down his back into his shoulders as he moves very deftly and makes drinks, putting them on trays. He looks at you. Yes. What would you like?
We were going to get some drinks and something to eat, and a couple of rooms if you have them, if that's okay. We're friends of Barclays the Viper, if you know him. if you've heard of him.
Barclays. Yes, I do.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
No, it's good. Barclays is well known, and he's obviously the envoy for House Galander. Friend, you say? Well, I can.
Well, we're travelling with him. He's just tied up with
12 business.
Oh, fair enough. Well, how many rooms?
4? Yeah, I can
maybe
come up.
I'll share a room with Gunnar.
As you wish.
Do your rooms have 1 bed or 2?
2.
Okay. Well then maybe we just get 2 rooms. Save some money.
Yeah.
You and Thulrom can bunk together.
Yeah, fair. Wouldn't be the first time.
Okay. We'll get 2 rooms. How much do they cost?
10 silver pieces per room per night.
Okay.
What drinks?
Can I get a mug of ale? Do you have anything fizzy that isn't alcoholic?
Yes, just sparkling water.
I'll get 2 sparkling waters. And then what would you like?
Dark ale.
Very good. That's going to be 3 silver pieces in total. For the lot.
Including the room?
No, excluding.
Okay. Oh, Rook, I've got this. Don't worry. So 10 silver pieces for the rooms, and then 3 for the rest. So that's 13, right? Okay, I can do maths. Thank you.
10 silver pieces per room
Oh right, sorry.
per
I
night.
hand over the correct money. Do you serve food here?
Yes, we have a roast at the moment.
Do you have just roast veggies?
There are accompaniments, yes.
I'll just get like a plate of veggies.
Help yourself, it's all you can eat, and you already then get a whiff from the far side of the room where you see people picking off from trays vegetables, and on the spit is a large, looks like just an entire cow that's just moving over and over.
Amara visibly
gutted.
looks uncomfortable.
But people are also
Hacking at it.
hacking at that too. He says, all you can eat for 2 silver pieces each.
I'll get it for everyone. So
8.
Oh, thank you for counting for me.
Can you afford this?
Yeah.
I saw you enter.
Cool. Thank you.
Enjoy.
I'm gonna.
You are room 7 and 8.
Okay, I'm gonna like pick up the 2 sparkling waters and say, Rook, could you please carry your drinks?
Yes, fine.
And then I'll make my way back to the table.
Thank you.
I'm like taxing some of Thulrom's.
Taxi. You're a bad guy.
Do I see him drinking out of my beer?
Yeah. Well, are you trying to hide it?
No.
Then yes.
When he sits down, does he have a beer in front of him?
He does.
Reach over and dip my whole finger in his beard.
Filthy dragon claws.
Ah.
Who knows what you have underneath there? When's the last time you groomed yourself?
Never, I laugh. You're going to catch something for sure.
It's okay, you can heal me later.
Do we all look dirty now that we're away from Barclays? Do we look filthy?
Yeah, you do. The thaumaturgy, the prestidigitation doesn't last longer than a minute. So you are smelling and looking a little bit worse for wear since the spell has worn off. And it wore off, admittedly, quite soon after you left.
Do I still smell bad with my...
No, you smell fine.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm gonna place all the drinks down and I'm gonna say I got us all a plate. So you can help yourself at the all you can eat.
I'm super chuffed to hear it's a buffet.
Yeah.
That makes me happy.
I walk off with... Are you walking off or...?
I'm gonna dart over and serve myself a plate of veggies and then just come back and sit down and feed
Aye.
myself.
Say to Thulrom, here's a place you can stick your filthy fingers. And I point at the cow.
I'm going to go over and use utensils to make myself a plate.
All right.
Come back.
Okay. Are you all, the rest of, are you taking a plate as well, or are you foregoing the meal?
I'll just sit there for a bit.
You should really eat something, Gunnar.
Osei gets herself a plate as well and
Oh,
pays
no.
for herself.
I meant to get it for everyone.
Oh, that's okay. She doesn't seem phased whatsoever. She comes back and sits and nods at you all.
You forgot about Osei.
Actually, your plate was for Osei.
Ah. I hand it over to SA.
She sort of puts her hand up. No, it's fine. It's fine.
She says she's fine.
Let's say, like, feeding up fighters. Do you eat food?
It is an interesting question. I do, but simply for the taste. I still enjoy the textures that are abound. I enjoy the savoury, the sweet, the bitter, the sour. I still sense these things. However, it doesn't. I can even swallow the food and drink. It's not an issue, but it does not give me sustenance. I do not need sustenance. It is an odd sensation. It simply passes through, and it's. I need not eat, however.
Osei, I just want you to know that didn't like when we didn't have you around. It's good to have you back. Also, if I ever get access to a wish spell, I will use it to cure you.
I hope that is not the case, Amara, and I hope you will use the spell for something slightly more important. I am merely one person, and I feel like my life is not worth the hassle compared to what you have all been through and what you can all change.
If there is anything that this journey with everyone here has taught me, it is that the power of one person should never be underestimated. Because imagine if Rook had have died. Imagine if one of us had never met up with the rest. I'm sure there are scenarios where it wouldn't have fared as well for the rest of the group. Not to say that all of the power is in one person, but one person can definitely make an impact. And I feel you would make an impact if you had all of the ability to.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I feel we should leave this conversation here because we could probably argue all night.
I would win.
I'm sure you would, eventually.
Are we like stacking our food and wine?
You've got plentiful abounds of food on your plate. You can tuck in.
I've been eating this.
Yeah, I'm sure you have been. The meal is the fare is good. It wasn't to the decadence of the oaks, but certainly it is filling, healthy, and quite delicious.
Thulrom Rock, you can have room 8, and I'll
Thank
give
you.
you the key. Osei, you can bunk with me and Gunnar.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
On the back of that conversation, I turned to her say, I wonder, a quandary.
Yes.
If you could change, would you?
Become alive again.
Mm.
It has been some time. I almost forget the feeling of taking a breath, of feeling the pain that comes from the cut of living flesh, sleeping, dreaming, becoming fatigued, all the good and the bad that comes from being flesh and blood. Rook, if I could, it would be in a heartbeat.
You know, there is another way. Fabrizio mentioned it. If you were to die and then be brought back, that would cure you.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I have done some research as well, and have found the same two possible outcomes. And the chance of being resurrected is just that, a chance. Which is why prior to meeting you, I have not sought out this option, for fear that I would simply become dust and without existence, on the possibility of the spell not being as powerful as something like the legendary wish.
It's not worth the risk.
However, you said you came from a background with less savoury types. Might you have a friend that we could test that on?
Should you capture one that is hunting me? Is that what you mean?
Correct. One that is of the same kind as you.
But surely it's a different chance for everyone. That's why it's a chance, right?
True, Amara.
I feel
Just a question.
Amara is right for the most part. I would think my kind, if it was exactly the same means that I was turned, the same person that turned me, the same circumstances exactly, then it would provide more of an idea if it would succeed. But if it has happened under any sort of different circumstances, I feel it may not be proof enough.
Something to think of.
If we capture a vampire, then I would be very interested in knowing. But be aware that it would not simply need to be any vampire, because there are some simply afflicted and hide away because they are ashamed and devastated at their life. I would wish it only for someone who is hunting me, is a vampire by choice, for the evil powers that it brings, that I would test this on. Would you accept this?
Yes. Chance to do good and save a friend sounds like a good chance.
Thank you.
But a thought, nonetheless. And continue eating. Gunnar, how are you feeling?
Sore. That's how you hurt. A little bit.
And after revisiting your tutor, are you okay?
I'm not. I don't know. He's not what I expected. But I also don't trust him. He seems like he's holding back a lot. Yeah.
I must ask, do you prefer Gunnar?
Yes.
Okay.
Most of the time.
Is there a time I would know when to refer to you as Shah?
When I don't look like this.
Okay. That's an easy thing to see.
Yeah.
Understood.
I'm still both. It's just I feel more comfortable as Gunner. Makes more sense to me. The other part of me is broken.
It's not broken. It's just a little bent.
Maybe.
You have your book.
That's not even half of it.
Shows that you remember something.
Most of what's in there is from after this happened. there's very little in there from before, which is why I didn't know who Oberdin was.
So you are in fact one of the same.
But
Sheldon and Gunnar.
not really. Gunnar was my friend. My best friend. I think he's gone now.
I think that's what Oberdin said.
Yeah.
So there's a duality to you then.
What he is, what I am, is a memory of him.
And this is a part of your, I don't know, deep question. Do I understand this as psionic powers? From what I've seen?
Make another counter check.
Yeah. Arcana, so 12.
Yeah, you have some inkling that psionics, as it were, is involved. You're not quite sure as to too much more than that.
Yeah. But I don't understand that. Okay, so the question would be, so is this something to do with your psionic powers?
Have you ever looked in a mirror that's broken? With pieces missing?
Yes.
That's what it's like trying to look into my mind and remember things. It's very, very clearly me, but there's pieces that are just missing. I don't understand why. And they're tiny little pieces, some of them are so small that I don't even notice they're not there until I go looking for them. Other pieces are huge, or massive. Big pieces of my life that are just gone. I don't even know what they are. I just know there's a hole there where there's something that should be there. But Gunnar, he's whole. Everything that he is in my mind is whole. There's no pieces missing.
So he's your anger.
Yeah.
I can't begin to understand the complexity behind this, but do you trust Oberdin to help us help you understand?
No.
May there be another?
I hope so.
I think from based on what Farizo said, Oberdin is far more worried about his own personal gain and personal agenda than he is about Gunnar. And I think that should be approached with caution. However,
he's our only lead as well.
now that we are away from Oberdin, I am sure that Gunnar has had a very rough however many hours it's been. Maybe we should just drop it for now.
I'd agree.
It's okay. I don't mind talking about it. But also, you've got some other stuff that's happening as well, right? DM question. I remember you explaining to me something about the intent of Oberdin. I can't remember if you shared that with just me or everyone. Do you remember what I'm talking about before I blurt it all out and reveal it to everyone?
I believe so. I think it was meant for everyone.
Okay, cool. So, can you remind me how I found that out? Because I can't remember specifically, but you told us that he intended on taking my body after training me, or in some way transferring his consciousness into my body of some description. How did I find that out again?
It was mentioned in the room after the battle.
With the mind flayer. Right. How did I glean that though?
It was simply an explanation from him as to what his intentions are. He was just very open and wanting to make
Oh, I
sure.
thought he was trying to keep it from us.
Not this particular piece of information, though.
Okay. Well, yeah, so I get the feeling that his intentions are not pure. He's not just trying to teach me how to be better or to control my powers. I think he wants to create some kind of control over them as well. I don't know what that would look like, but I don't trust him.
I don't think any of us should.
I think we're in agreement there.
There is a piece of him that is left in my mind. It is one that is terrible.
Perhaps we should deal with him the same way we dealt with Mycelu.
I don't know if you can.
I think Farizo saying that he had been trying to stop. The 12 had been trying to stop this, right? Right, God?
Yes.
Yeah. The 12 had been trying to stop this, so if the 12 can't stop this, what's to say that we can? Also, Little Miss NZ has just raided us with a party of 56 people.
Whoa.
Oh, welcome everybody.
Welcome.
Really?
There are
There's
76 viewers right now.
Oh, amazing. Holy
I just got chills. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody.
Thank you for
Thank you.
Welcome to Fate's Grip, an Australian live play Dungeons and Dragons stream.
Yeah.
Now we will go back to role playing.
So, yeah, and I don't know. I sense there's something about him that I can't put together, but it is terrible, and a power that is hard to comprehend.
Well, it means to take your mind. Perhaps this will give you some protection.
I take off my ring, Mycelu's ring, and give it to Gunnar. Throw it at me.
Give it to Gunnar and they say, perhaps this will help protect your mind. And also, when you look at it, remember all those people we killed that nobody thought we could. And think of Overdin.
I'm thinking of the people I accidentally killed in the jousting arena.
Just don't give me a name.
Blasted so many
No,
pounds.
he was a terrible person. Don't feel guilty about that.
No, I'm thinking about the people that were taken over by Oberdin that I just blasted. Anyway, thanks!
As you put on the ring, it's interesting. Your mind has not really felt peace, in a sense, since you've seen Oberdin and discovered that he was looking for you. Your mind has been racing and distraught and worried, all these emotions. But now, with this ring on, you almost feel an icy breath enter you, but one of comfort, one of utter relief. And your mind clouds slightly, and you almost automatically are aware of what the power of the ring does. And you feel safer. And I'm not quite sure if this particular piece would prevent Oberdin himself from entering your mind, but you're fairly certain that that there is protection here.
You're welcome. I said thanks.
Thanks to Amara. I do believe you're right. I think for now, let us rest our minds and get a good night's rest and continue on to the monastery tomorrow.
We're going to need it. How much do you guys know about the Dreaming Dark?
Little other than the...
Roll a history check.
Roll a
for me.
giant history check.
It's Speaking of giant history channels, we're giving away some dice at the moment.
Yeah.
Please check our Twitter, Facebook.
Yeah, for everyone that's just joined, you wait until the...
You can win this.
Yeah. And some of these little sexy guys down here too.
And girls.
And girls.
And any other gender.
That you wish.
Okay. History?
Did you roll?
20.
Dang.
You are the dreaming dark.
The dreaming dark was the friends
Yeah.
we made along the way.
29.
That was a 16.
16?
Okay.
Okay.
So
So here's what you both
Guy just lives off the control.
here's what you both know.
The Dreaming Dark is it lives in a place that is apart from reality. They live in somewhere that is named Dal Quor, and it is a dream-like world where these entities are gifted in being able to invade the minds of those dreaming if the situation is right and their resistances are overcome, and even to the point of delving into their bodies and overtaking their bodies and bringing themselves into the material plane of existence. There have been accounts from people afflicted by these beings that have overtaken the bodies of these people just opening up and allowing these creatures to come forth, quickly being defeated, or perhaps not, but otherwise weird in shape, worm-like, many hands or claws or eyes.
When you say open up, do you mean like split open and spew forth a
Say
creature?
again.
Say again.
When you say open up, do you mean split open and like spew forth a creature out of them?
Like the last bit of Aliens.
Yeah, similar.
Through the movie.
So yes,
You stopped watching there?
I did, yes.
Wow, so much.
so
that's what you know, Thulrom, and that's what you know as well, Gunnar, but you know a little bit more.
Can I just say,
Please.
because I did also use my psionic talent die, so I feel like I may have actually done a roll before about this, and I didn't get anywhere near as high. So just for flavor's sake, Gunnar will, as you ask him that question, he's going to assume a similar pose to what you've taught him with his meditation. And his eyes close, and when he opens them, they're like full-on avatar state, like glowing. And that's how he arrives at this.
As you all
Did not
observe,
teach him that.
No, he's trying to learn this part on his own.
as you observe this, you
all notice that there are eyes from other tables now looking a bit curiously over in silence. And you see halflings and humans sort of looking over curiously, whispering to each other as we continue. Gunnar, you know that these creatures, these quarry, they have a hierarchy. You've read that travelers and people that have studied this race of beings have a hierarchy. There are inspired, which you've come across before, these beings that have these shadows behind them. This weird image that, like a puppeteer, make the movements for these humanoids and guide their actions. And these are servants. These are the lowest of the low of this Dreaming Dark's race that have been overtaken permanently. Then you have other stages of power, quarry. Even the names are unknown to you. No one's really understood as to what they're called. They have their own versions, but you're on the understanding that this is not the real titles of these lords. You also are aware that there have been attacks in the past, and that they do focus their attacks on Ilyanar and her followers in Corvair specifically. The world that they live in is impassable, and you cannot, humanoids, even with powerful magics, usually cannot walk through their world without being disoriented and void of their abilities in some cases as well, even to the point of being blind or deaf, so that they are at an enormous disadvantage if they do enter an attempt to study or at least observe them. It's the dream world. It's the world that people have their fantasies and their horrors, and that is twisted by these creatures of the dreaming dark and made to weaken their minds with psionic powers. So, as that information is drawn into you, that is what you know.
So what do you guys know about the Dreaming Dark?
Very little.
Oh.
I've once heard tales of people exploding and dark creatures exiting forth.
Thank you for describing it that way. Gunnar, you were glowing.
No. Yeah.
Is the fizzy drink too strong?
You just burped. No, it was good. That was a lot. A lot?
Yeah. How?
So I've been meditating like you showed me, and it sort of has unlocked this ability. I've done it a few times, and each time I do it, it seems to get stronger. I don't know. It's like I can reach into, I don't know, a well of information and just draw it into myself.
Is that what that was?
Yeah,
Wow.
I'm getting better at it. But I know a lot.
Can you tell us anything?
Me?
I,
You should. Because you just tried to.
well, I thought you were talking to me, not her. Sorry.
Whomever.
There seems to be that there's a lot that people don't know about these creatures. And that they're really targeting Ilyanar. But their motives, I don't think anyone understands. Have you heard of anyone going to their plane of existence? What was it called?
Dal Quor.
Dal Quor? That's where they're from.
Thank you, Gunnar.
I was telling him, not you.
Oh. Yeah. He's right,
I'm usually right.
Are we, should we expect anything when we get to the monastery?
Let me be very clear that the thing that frightens me the most about the Dreaming Dark is their ability to completely overcome your mind. Everything. Through
Is there any etiquette, any way we can avoid them pillaging
Dreaming
our
Dark?
minds? Yeah.
They won't be after you.
That sounds convenient for us. What about you?
My race is still widely misunderstood by a lot of people.
No, I think everyone understands.
You're a dragonborn.
You're like the straight white male of this world.
Anyway, thank you. I'm glad we went through this, and that is the end of the story. No.
So much more.
I will tell you about what I fear personally. The Dreaming Dark is attacking my race, and they are overcoming as many people as they can, and they are trying to destroy my entire belief system. They're trying to destroy Ilyana, and the last thing Sonari told me is that they have her, and...
Do you know why? Do you know why they're trying to just... Why are they doing this?
Why does anyone do anything?
Usually to gain something.
Yeah.
Yeah, what
Power.
do they gain from destroying you, though? There's gotta be a reason. Like, more than just funsies, you know?
Perhaps not. Some people just kill for the sake of it.
This seems too organized, though. There seems like there's a structure and everything. Like, you don't have that kind of structure in an organization when there's no purpose.
If I knew...
I'm only asking. I'm not
I
suggesting.
know. I know. But if I knew everything, it wouldn't have taken me this long to be here. And... So...
Have you ever actually met them before?
The closest I remember coming to the Dreaming Dark was when we were in by Selu's.
Dragon?
The worm. No. Well, that too.
Was that one? Wait, did I see that? I think I saw that.
I explained it to
Oh.
everyone. But also when we were at by Selu's lair, since that's what we've decided to call it, I remember seeing one of...
Sorry.
Thank you, Gunnar. I remember seeing one of the people standing there was an agent of the Dreaming Dark, which may have been why I became so skittish.
See, that's another thing. Like, I've noticed you call them agents. Agents always have a purpose.
Yeah, it's to destroy.
Yeah, but like, there's gotta be a reason they're destroying. I'm not saying you have the answers. I'm
I
just...
don't have the answer. Gunnar, we...
That says the Meeple just gifted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 tier 1 subs. To,
Holy hell!
thank you so much. That's
Meeples.
that's
Meeples and dragons,
so
everybody!
massively
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
And
much.
back to serious time.
Thank you.
I think we should look into this and do some research and see if anyone else knows. I know that there are probably resources that your monastery has on this, but maybe we should look into it and see if there are any other places in the world. Are there any other places that Kalashtar are more common that you know of?
I'm going to ask you that question.
Kalashtar are...
I feel like they're very Corveri.
They are all over. There's a couple of places in Shan that have embassies. Sorry, one place in Shan that has embassies, but they are spread out in major cities. There's not one place that Kalashtar in Corvair reside over others. They don't have their own capital city. They are a strange race in the fact that they are a rarer race. There's not as many. It's like trying to find centaurs or fey creatures in Corvair. It's not a common thing. Their population certainly does not amount to elves or humans.
Dragonborn?
Exactly.
Thank you. I feel like to understand how I feel, I kind of have to backfill you a little bit. When I was a kid, I'm not going to give you the whole story, but I'm going to give you the summarized version of the story, and that is that Thulrom is going to dance.
You do a different dance than the time. It's awesome. So bad.
Anyway, when I was a kid, I have my spirit is Sonari. That's my Quori spirit. And she has been with me for as long as I can remember. I didn't have the connection that I have with her though, because I didn't really know how to use it. And sometimes spirits are passed down, sometimes they're not. My spirit was passed down to me.
From who?
From my family.
Your mom?
Yeah, like my parents. And when I was very young, my parents left me at my monastery, and I never saw them again.
Do you know their names?
My parents?
Yeah.
I don't really remember my parents' names.
Monastery know their names?
Well, let me finish. From there, most of my life was wake up, meditate, learn my power, learn my abilities, meditate, and go to sleep. And the stories that we used to be told by my mentors was of the Dreaming Dark and agents of the Dreaming Dark, and that we should always be ready to fight them, and that was our purpose. Our entire purpose of our monastery was to take these people down. And for me, I was so young, and it just kind of seemed like one of those stories that they tell you to scare you at nighttime. Like, hey, this is the monster hiding in your closet, sort of thing. And so I guess when you're young like that, you never really take it seriously. And I did. Like, I feel like I did. But at the same time, there was part of me, though scared, that just kind of thought it was just that, a story, you know? One day I went out and I was gathering some supplies for the monastery, and I came back and nearly everyone was dead.
They're dead or they're asleep?
A combination.
So they had not been harmed.
So they're dead asleep?
Some had.
Sorry.
So the monastery we're about to head to has nobody.
No, I left directly after that, and I hid for a while, and then I found you guys, and I hadn't visited the monastery until I went with you, Gunnar, and Barclays.
What made you take that job?
I didn't really have any other purpose. And I'd made my way, I'd made my way around it. I kind of felt like I needed to get as far away from home as humanly possible, and so I did.
Are you comfortable with heading back to the monastery?
I am not comfortable with anything we do.
Well, that's...
But that doesn't mean that it doesn't have to be done. Just like Gunnar facing his trials, I need to face my own.
Almost like it's like a backstory.
Almost like my race depends on it.
Yeah.
So you're a soldier of Iliana.
If you want to use the word soldier, I would more say follower.
And this is your god?
She is my god.
Is she your shepherd? Part of her flock?
That's funny, Gunnar.
Why?
Anyway.
And you continue eating.
Would you be... I'm going to say this quietly to her, but I'm not going to speak telepathically. Would you be interested in seeing if you could find your parents? Are they both clashed?
I wouldn't be uninterested. However, I haven't seen them in so long, and I don't know anything about them.
What if the monastery knows?
If the monastery knows, then great, but
Would you be interested though?
I don't know. Sometimes I think the past is best left there.
Yeah, that's true. But sometimes that's where you can find the answers.
I would be more interested in understanding more about my mentors.
What?
My mentors from the monastery. But I don't foresee that happening. The top of my priority list is...
Are they still alive?
I don't know.
Were they there when we went there last time?
I didn't see them. I don't know, Gunnar. At the moment, the most important thing is what I've been taught my entire life, and that is that I need to protect Ilyana, and I need to stop the Dreaming Dark. And at the moment, they're winning, and I can't let them.
That's why I think we shouldn't count out any options. If you don't feel comfortable finding out about your parents, that I understand. And if you want to, I can help with that. I can ask the questions that may be too hard to ask yourself.
Sonari told me I need to go to the monastery, and Sonari told me that I need to tell them about the wand. And I say that part very fucking quietly.
Okay.
And I trust her.
I need to go to the bathroom.
Okay.
Sorry. I'm actually gonna go to the bathroom.
I knew it.
figured that would be a perfect way to do it.
Nice.
Sheldon, do you want to?
As
Yeah, please.
as Gunnar leaves for the men's, the rest of you by now have finished your respective meals. Those who have wanted to have gone up to get seconds and thirds until your thirst and your hunger have been sated. The rest of the inn and the evening passes silently for Osei. She is content with simply listening, and it gets to after that conversation, it gets to another hour or two until you're all feeling a little bit more tired. Is there anything else you want to do prior to having a bit of a rest?
As soon as I've kind of finished my speech and finished my food, I would probably just yeet, for lack of a better word. I would head upstairs to the room.
Osei follows close behind.
And I would just, without acknowledgement, sit down and meditate.
Thulrom, I'm going to retire.
I too am going to retire at the same time as you, and if there's a bet up there, we're flipping. If there's only one bet up there, we're flipping a coin.
I was told there's two. It's not the first time I've said them before. Graciously bow for your new tattoo.
I accept your gracious offer. Let's go to sleep.
So for the purposes of this, Gunnar follows you up, Amara, as well, leaving the inn and the quietening down of no music, interestingly enough, even as you entered, but simply the roar of card games and drinking and telling of stories that you overheard. Nothing of interest, nothing that seemed to take your ear, nothing about things that are happening in that you're aware of with the disease in the Moral Holds, nor even the curfew that King Boronel is thinking about instilling upon Shan. You heard whispers and small tones regarding the army of the Lord of the Blades that is passing Shan currently, and perhaps to some people's interests perhaps have now moved past the Eldin Reaches themselves as well, or are in the middle of doing that. The direct position of this army of Warforged, you're not sure as to exactly where, but certainly they seem to have started to move past. And Gunnar, you've made your way up with Amara and Osei to rest. Osei, in fact, just sleeping on the floor. She herself seemed to have her own bedroll in a backpack. And so she observed you for a moment, Amara, but decided not to disturb, nor to disturb yourself, Gunnar. And you've all go into a sleep. And Thorum and Rook the same, in the room opposite, or in the room next to them. The night passes uneventfully. Your spells, hit points, and other any ailments you might have had exhaustion-wise either are abated or get improved.
Get all my key
Before
points
I
back.
do go to sleep,
Sorry, say it again.
before I did go to sleep, I would
I've just spent some time again writing in my book and feeding Kips a bug every so often. Just give him a little screech.
How are you feeling, Gunnar, Char? Do you have a preference in what I call you now?
No, I don't think so. You can call me whatever you want.
Very well, Char, because that is your name. But I must say the past day's events have been worrying for me. I do not like what Oberdin has in store for you. I do not believe him. This small dragon just continues to slowly crunch on a beetle as it moves around your shoulders and your neck. Slowly, his warm claws dig in slightly into your skin, but not enough to have any sort of pain. Only a slight uncomfortableness, as though he himself is anxious. I do not like what he's saying. If there is any way that we are able to avoid him from now on, I would advise for this. I would advocate strongly not to meet him again. I understand you perhaps have reservations regarding this, but please, I fear that you and your friends may not have the strength to oppose whatever he's planning. For I do believe he's planning something sinister. He does not seem to be the type of person that I remember that would simply go on his own way with you and hide from the world. He has other motives here. Would you not agree?
As he's like circling, I will gently hold his tail and look at the end. So you remember him? He did this, didn't he?
That was his doing.
It was my fault.
Why?
I don't know. I can't remember that.
It was not. I was attempting to protect. It was simply unlucky. An unlucky circumstance. Do not think anything of it.
Okay.
Sleep. Or meditate, but do not concern yourself with it.
Alright. Do you know where... Is Amara sleeping next to me?
I'm meditating and then would have gone to sleep, so depending how much time has passed, one or the other.
I'll just try and speak quietly, not to keep it from her, just not to wake her up if she's sleeping. Do you know where I can look for a mentor?
A mentor?
Someone that can help me that is an Oberdin.
With your psionic powers?
Yeah,
Unlocking or
just helping me make sense of it, understand them.
perhaps Friso may be able to glean some more light as to who may help. I know not.
Okay. Good night.
Good night, Sheldon. And you go into a deep slumber as well, regaining hit points and spell slots, and you awaken, all of you, in an early morning with the slight sound outside of a light rain, tap, tap, tapping on the wood on the outside of this tavern. And you wake with the knowledge of what is to come, your path forward to Ilyanar's temple. And I'm going to call an earlier break now, if that's okay. And we're going to come back in about 10 minutes. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm super excited that everyone's here. I'm going to fix the audio quick smart. I know exactly what's going on. So I believe I know how to fix it. So stick around. I know as before we leave, yes?
Before we leave, if you didn't tune in at the start of the stream because you were part of a raid, you can win a set of dice. So here at Fates Group, we are giving away a set of Kraken dice. They are a 12-piece set. They are really, really pretty. So 2d20s, 4d6s, 1d2, and the rest is your normal D&D dice. It is a legendary set. It's called Shifting Sands. It's been out less than a month. And graciously, they have gifted us also the Titan D20, which we are also giving away with the set. You can 13. Enter. Ooh, unlucky. Don't like. You can enter by going to the twitter.com/fatesgrip, our pinned tweet. Follow us, retweet, and like. Retweeting and liking is an entry each. And then for a bonus entry, you can comment on the tweet this week's code word.
Ilyanar.
Ilyanar.
Don't forget
It
that
is
one.
spelled IL-YANNAH. Please comment that below, and that will be an extra entry. Otherwise, we'll see you in 10 minutes.
Amazing, guys.
Thank you, Kraken Dice.
Thank you so much, Kraken. Thank you, everybody. And yeah, we'll see you soon. welcome back. They don't know that I've gone back live, but for everyone who's joining us, welcome back. It's 8:30, so I'm pretty strict on the time. When they come in, I'll just I think they're away. So when they just before they come back, thank you so much for everybody who has thank you everybody who has stuck around, and I'm just moving some things that's a little bit better. Thank you everybody who stuck around, and thank you. I'm just checking out this the microphone stuff. Bear with me. Could you talk into it, Amara?
This is Dice ASMR. No. Hi. How are you? Hey. While you're doing this, just to help you test this microphone, I want to just redirect everyone to our Twitter once again. Twitter.com/FatesGrip. Not just because we're giving away dice, but because we're actually at 698 followers right now, which means if 2 more people follow us, I get to force all of the players and our DM to dress up for a cosplay stream.
I'll give you a little hint on my costume. It involves latex.
Yeah, I'll give you a
Could you
hint.
say that again?
I said I'll give you a little hint on my costume. It involves latex.
I just had you
Tune in for
muted.
that.
That was a mistake, but we'll soon find out. There's a girl on the ground.
I'll give you a hint on our DM's costume. Our DM's costume is his body covered in rhinestones.
It's not gonna happen.
It actually is. He's been Googling rhinestones all day and asking me his opinions on. What do you
It's like a
mean?
fake diamond.
Oh, what I was wearing at the murder mystery night.
I don't know, maybe.
The Diamantes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they're like real stones.
Mine were real stones.
Aren't they? Rhinestones are real stones.
I was the prom queen.
And mine
No,
will
I
just
wasn't.
be the recycled Halloween costume that I have, or it will be Amara. I haven't decided yet.
That was sorry. That was my noodles.
We're lax on this stream.
We are. So we have our couch goblin outside giving us an idea of how the audio is. So stay tuned. We're going to start as soon as he gives us some idea, or if the chat can give us some
The last
feedback.
thing that was said was DM echo.
Like that was like for right now.
Little Miss said that very shortly ago.
Very short.
Very sure.
What?
So there's a DM echo. That's unfortunate. As you can all tell, I'm not a muso, as it were.
So, yeah.
It's a bit echoey on all 3. We are in an echoey room, so I'm not overly surprised by that. Like, this entire room is tiled, just for everyone's knowledge.
Yeah.
We killed a fan.
Could we?
Maybe we
Why?
should,
Why are you killing it?
because it deserves to die.
Do you want to try that on instead? The aircon one.
Aircon.
That is an aircon.
That's super, that has
It's
this
just a
really
bit
nice
loud.
high-pitched noise. But apparently it's mostly when you talk.
Whether there's an echo.
The echo, yeah. It's just like.
It's just because your voice is so loud and majestic.
I actually think it's the tone of your voice. So because you have a deep voice, it actually travels further.
It's all your fault.
Yeah.
Way
Could you
you're
just do everything like higher octaves higher?
No, I'm being serious because your voice is lower. The sound waves travel further and they reverb.
They do, don't
out.
they? Well, welcome everybody back. I'll try and make it less echoey. I don't know how this is going to...
No.
Okay.
Mickey Mouse.
Let's play. We'll solve this by next
Michele
stream.
Mouse.
Can I just say a massive shout out to Saz the Meeples as well for those subs.
Thank you, yeah, we didn't thank you at the
Peoples
beginning.
and Dragons.
Thank you so much, Peoples and
If you didn't
Dragons.
hear at the start of the stream, Peoples and Dragons are developing classes at the moment. They're super hot. They are revealing a different class on the glass every single day. Today was the wizard, I believe it was. So cool. So cool. Artificer was yesterday, I believe. I could be getting this wrong, but I've seen them all. They all look amazing.
We may have some intel in
It's a couch goblin.
Oh, thank you. I need to see secret messages.
Oh, hello. Hello, couch goblin. Ooh.
Yeah, cool. Okay, that was a couple of minutes ago. Oh, thank you, appreciate it. We have you can actually see some. We have just some things that we're trying to do live to.
That's in the.
Yeah.
It's
Just
actually
got a couple extra inches on that pole there.
Wow, wow.
the microphone is syncing.
It's thinking, yeah, we can just tighten that. That's fine. It's just that knob there.
Fuck.
Knobs and poles.
Hey,
Theatre of the mind, everybody. Theatre of the
it
mind.
is. There we go. Perfect.
No, it's not
Yeah,
working.
there we go.
Oh, the mic's now in the shot.
That's fine.
That's fine.
I think that's okay. It's quite dark. Thank you so much.
We may need those back though, is the only thing.
That's
So
right.
pass them to me and I'll do it.
Appreciate
Who
it.
doesn't want a titty shot on camera?
Wow. Perfect. All right.
This can't
Thank
look
you.
good.
10 more subs.
I think yeah. Look, echo wise, I certainly have to play with it. Thank you so much, Jordan, for that. And we'll get right back into it.
Who's Jordan? I only know the couch goblin.
Well, I didn't specify who that person was. He might have just been an extra, or yeah. Anyway. So, getting right back into it.
Shit.
You awaken from your slumber. Dreamless sleeps all. Ready for a new day. You don't hear any voices or sounds from downstairs. You're not quite sure what time it is. But you all awaken one after the other in about the same time. Well rested, awake, not feeling any pains or sleeplessness, light sleeps. You all slept very well. So, Osei opens the door of your room, Gunnar and Amara. Comes back in and brings with her some fruits, some breads and cheeses, and divvies them up. Knocks on your door, Thulrom and Rook, with a welcoming good morning from her voice. It is Osei, bringing with her, and as she describes from outside the door, breakfast.
Let's say, too kind.
She hands you your respective. There are dried meats as well as cheeses and.
Please don't feed the dragon cheese in the morning.
She gives you a knowing nod and avoids providing the Gruyere to Thulrom.
I'll take that and put it away.
That's probably a good idea.
I'll give this to you later, boy.
Boy.
So, you eat. It is quite delicious and fresh. Now that the door is slightly ajar to your rooms, you do hear several voices downstairs of people organising meals, but otherwise a fairly quiet tavern compared to the night before. What are you doing?
Do I see Amara downstairs?
At the moment you're all still in your rooms, having had the meals within the rooms
Ah,
themselves.
okay. Well, I'm gonna head downstairs.
I would have gotten up. Instead of doing my usual meditation, I'm going to do like a real quick, like 15-minute short sesh. I'm going to end it by saying out loud, but quietly. I'm going to say, Sonari, please just give me the strength to do this today, please. And then I'm going to head downstairs.
Have you left the room yet, Sheldon? Thulrom?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I have. I'm gonna. Not without saying goodbye. I'm gonna head downstairs. I'm eager to be underway and visit Amara's temple.
I wish to ask you some questions later about you and your god, and your commitment to him, or how you found your commitment to him.
It's quite simple. I was born in Amara and worshipped through the trio of dragons there. But he was in my darkest place in a cell. I met a very important man to me, or dragonborn to me. And he taught me the way of Ada, a sort of prison cleric.
So you weren't brought up with Ada as your patron?
I lost my powers, as those of us who channel divine power and lose their way I want to do. My old gods turned their back on me, and in my darkest hour, Ada was there.
And you just took up the mantle and...
No, it took years of study, as it does for all clerics.
I shall continue this conversation with you later if you feel it appropriate or you're comfortable with it.
You can ask me. It seems that the news of these halflings that are in the city looking for me, it might be pertinent for you all to know. And head downstairs.
I tighten everything up, check all my equipment and head down as well.
You feel a familiar tingling in your hand as your hand, as you look down, it has that same sheen of a reflective metal over the top of it, as you experienced the day before. Whatever power had been instilled on you is still there, and you feel strengthened by it. You all head downstairs. Osei looks at you all. In a fairly empty room, there's simply one other table that's filled, and that's with a set of gnomes. And they all seem to be silently picking at the same sort of meal that you had. Not looking up, just whispering to each other every now and again. They seem to be wearing fairly common trader-looking clothing, several pockets, brown, blues, and pink tunics, all very similar to each other, and simply talking about the day's trade as you pass them. They seem to have a wagon outside as you overhear their conversation. A wagon outside that was taken care of overnight by the patrons of this inn that have their wares of jewellery. And where to go in Shan to sell such wares this day. Osei looks at you all and says, "To the Arden? Shall we head there straight away? Or shall we pass somewhere else first? I am with you on this, wherever you may go."
Amara's.
I'm quite anxious to get there. I'd rather have this. I don't know. I haven't been there in a while. I feel like in my gut I need to get there. But if you guys want to stop, I won't object. I would just ask that we are pressing about our stops because I know we can get sidetracked. Barclays, herbs.
I have no errands left to run. I'm happy to go directly to the temple, but I'm equally happy to stop on whatever errands these two might have.
No. The errands that I have can wait. It's unimportant. I feel like it's a matter of urgency that we help Amara at the moment.
Where did that music come from?
That's the mood.
Suddenly,
Silly enough.
a flautist goes onto a small stage and starts to play a more lively song through the flute. This brown, long wooden instrument, and seems to do just a slight jig as well. The first sort of music you've heard while staying here.
Sorry, someone just commented Thulrom's kind of cute.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Goodness me.
I'm blushing hard. Thank you, not Perseus. Thanks for joining it.
If you donate a certain amount of money, we'll give you the link to his OnlyFans account.
Yeah, help Thulrom start his OnlyFans account.
Fuck.
A lot of butt stuff.
Jose starts to make her way out of the inn.
Maybe because I'm so thirsty.
Are you all following, or are you doing anything else?
Yes.
I'm heading to
Follow.
my place.
Follow City.
As you head outside, you see the pitter-patter of rain and the cloudiness take hold of the city as people in heavy cloaks, guards, tradespeople, citizens moving from one place to another, shield themselves from the clouds and the weather above. They are dark clouds. There's still an air of excitement, a usual day of selling and buying of wares, as you still hear over the light pitter-patter shouting of advertising, fruits, jewelries, clothing, arms and armour from plentiful traders who have set up their shop, but with a large overhanging canvas to hide their wares from any damage that might be caused. And you still see passerbys, but again, the ground is the ground of tile and loose stone starts to rise slightly with water, and it becomes a little bit slightly harder to walk between people, while also trying to avoid the puddles that take hold here. But you are not disrupted, you are not distracted by the road ahead, the goal. And with some time, and this is probably about half an hour or so, you cross bridges, you go up a platform and rise up further and further into probably further away from the cogs and closer to the skyway, as you see just reaching through the thick cover above, you still see every now and again glimpses of the tall spires that make the skyway. You see coming down from above and below the clouds huge and small airships that rotate their enormous engines, or spout flame, or whirlwinds that keep them afloat. These large bubbles of heavily laden peoples and gear just travel from one place to another. It is still a city of commerce for all its weather types.
Do I see any hint of trouble, any hint of the curfew that's to come, preparations for war? I know there's an army right near the city. Is there excess soldiers?
As you travel from this place to Ilyanar, make an investigation check. I'll let you just continue that. Actually, let me make two separate rolls with the time that's occurring.
So that's a 13 and a 9.
A 13 and a 9. Okay. Initially, you do see, as soon as you exit the inn, there are extra guards. Now, it was hard to see with the cloaks on, but you do notice the shields and the emblems of the Shan Watch out in force, a lot more than when you first arrived in the city.
We're going to turn to Rook and say, "Yeah, not well equipped at all. Look, it's just members of the Shan Watch. No soldiers or anything of that nature."
Perhaps the presence of the Warforged has been directed elsewhere. I know that from the last information that I gathered, he was on his way to the Demon Wastes. Maybe he's bypassed Shan, and the threat's not as potent in this region. But again, from my understanding, they're on their way there to do something about Tiamat, or maybe summon her.
Well, I hope for these people's sake that the city is in no danger. They don't look like they could stand up to a siege.
Particularly if it comes from the Demon Wastes. Think of it, if they pass by Breland, past Sharn, to the Demon Wastes, summon their god, and then come back down from the foothills, it'd be a slaughter.
Have you been in the siege before?
Not a direct siege, no. More skirmishes.
Nor have I, but from the tales I've heard, we'd be better off leaving the city before it comes to that.
With the lack of food, possibly. I know that there's a lot of warforged in the cogs. So, cogs? Is that right? That could either be swayed for either side. There could be a resource here to better arm the city.
If it comes to that, then I'll continue on.
Alright. You continue your way, and you do find yourselves, well, two of you, in a familiar walkway. A street that guides you towards the Temple of Ilyanar, the familiar large crystal that makes up the entire building of this place. Tall, proud, and between buildings where the entire street is bare. There is no one in this place currently. You look around, and even through the small alleyways, not a person in sight. Unlike in every other street that you've gone through, you turn the corner and suddenly it's as though this place is, people are avoiding it. As they look down, as you see people passing by you, they look down this alley and they give it a wide berth.
How does the actual structure of the building look?
Of Ilyanar?
Yeah.
You're at a T-junction at the moment, and you are looking towards the street where there are plentiful private homes and a couple of inns and a couple of shops that are closed. In between and tucked in together of woods and stones, and the dirt road now that this leads into is slick with wet, but the building itself shines brightly as you've seen it. It's as you have left it only days before, still proud and tall.
This road, is it shadowy?
Yep. There are shadows because there is quite a bit of a cloud cover. More in the alleyways, though, as you spy, there are behind barrels and behind
How many feet
crates.
is it?
The street?
The entire alley, yeah.
This street that leads into Ilyanar's temple, which is on the left-hand side, mind you, the entire thing is about 120 feet or so, 150 feet.
Okay.
And Ilyanar's temple is towards the other side.
Yeah. I'm going to turn to the group and I'm going to say, follow me when I say. And I'm just going to shadow jump 60 feet.
You appear behind a crate, behind a set of them actually, one above the other, three of them. And you're 60 feet further in, the full length, and you're on the same side as the Ilyanar temple, looking around. Nothing.
I'm going to move I'm going to shadow step another 30 feet. And once I get there, I just want to kind of like take stock of the buildings around me. Are there any that look damaged? Any that look like obviously it's weird for me to see this street a little quieter than what it is?
Yeah.
Question mark. But like, is there anything that stands out? anything like super strange.
Make a perception check.
18.
18. Looking over, you do see one thing that's a little bit odd, and that is the door, the main door to the Eleanor temple is slightly open, and you see from coming out from the door dark wisps of black smoke, but not as though there's some sort of fire. You don't smell anything smoky as though something has caught a flame, but you do see these small thin tendrils of smoky black somethings emanating from this place.
I'm gonna look back at the group and stand like so I'm certain they can see me, and I'm gonna telepathically communicate with all three of them and say it's safe to come at least this far.
Does my ring let me hear her?
It does.
I'm going to start walking forward.
Yeah.
Alright.
They all abandoned me.
Turn around and leave.
You
Turn around and we're gone.
You all walk together down this path of rain, and you feel your clothing get slightly damp now after this amount of time. It's starting to seep and make your weight a little heavier. But you do come forward further and you see a similar sight in front of you. This door to the Eleanor temple of brown and black wood, as you have remembered it, but with these tendrils of black smoke.
I'm gonna look at everyone and say that's not normal, just for the record.
Do I see it?
We should be cautious.
Do you feel like can I talk next?
Well, you're now up where I am.
We're next to each other.
So yes, you can.
Do you have any suspicions of what we might encounter here?
Yeah, just every worst fear that I've ever thought of in my life.
And what might that be? We may be able to better support you if we knew what that was.
I'm gonna just. Are you feeling okay, sir? You alright?
Is there not other agents or...
You okay, Rook?
That's when I just put my hood on.
I'm gonna say. I would suspect probably the Dreaming Duck.
I think.
I didn't mean to be a jerk. I was genuinely worried about you. You can insight check me if you like.
Does this look familiar to me? Based off the information you gave me earlier?
No, this is not. As you are all looking towards this spot, Osei turns and says, "Shall I investigate?"
You don't need to put your life on the line for me.
Yes. I don't suspect that much danger in the Temple of Eleanor.
You should.
Would you? Really?
If what I've been told is happening, then we should be very cautious.
Cautious or go in with weapons out and bows at the ready, and magic's poised?
Prepared but not armed.
Not armed.
Well, I mean, take your stuff with you, but like don't.
Should we not draw them?
Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know. This is weird for me.
Thulroms? What say you?
This is not my temple. And I know that if anybody marched into the Temple of Ada with their weapons out, no one would ask any questions. That would be the beginning of a fight. Perhaps we should let Amara lead the way.
I'll go in first. You just follow.
Wait, I think I can go in without going in there.
How?
I can't explain it. It's just something that's happened in the last day or so. So where did I go? The clairvoyance spell that you gave me. I prepared that this morning. So just so you guys understand what the spell is. You create an invisible sensor within range in a location familiar to you, a place you have visited or seen before. So I've been inside. Or an obvious location unfamiliar to you, such as behind a door, around a corner, etc. The sensor remains in place for the duration and it can't be attacked or otherwise interacted with. When you cast the spell, you choose seeing or hearing. You can use the chosen sensor through the sensor. Sorry, you can use the chosen sense through the sensor as if you were in its space. As an action, you can switch between hearing and seeing, so I can alternate between the two. A creature that can see the sensor, such as a creature benefiting from see invisibility or true sight, sees a luminous, intangible orb about the size of your fist. I would say that it would be a similar appearance to Gunner's thought form.
Yeah.
Oh shit, it takes 10 minutes to cover.
Yep.
Okay, so I have to meditate for a little bit. If you want, I can do the... Hey guys, I'm still talking to you. I can do this, but it's gonna take a little bit of time. Do you have a moment for me to prepare this?
How long?
10 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a long time to be sitting out here swinging.
Is it a long time if it helps us have an advantage?
Perhaps not. Is there danger that's expected on these? Are we on the steps or?
Well, does this look normal to you?
No.
This doesn't look normal. This wasn't doing this last time I came here. Did you guys come last time?
I was not here, no.
This wasn't
The
like
other
this.
option.
Do you wish me to sneak in?
Well, the other option is that I can actually shadow jump in, and I can make us all really.
What if once you get in there, you can't get out?
Yeah, and that's what I'm worried about. I think Gunnar has the right idea. I don't want anyone to get hurt, or.
I'm just gonna stop casting while they're talking.
I think it's worth the 10 minutes.
Fair.
Is there anything that anyone else can prepare in the next 10 minutes that maybe keep us protected, or if we've got that 10 minutes, I don't know.
All of my blessings will fade too quickly. I should wait until we're in combat. Or until we are attacked. Until the need is pressing.
Oh, I can't do it actually. It says here I need a focus worth at least 100 gold pieces. Although my hints, that focus that I have would be, it's a magical item.
That's fine.
Yeah,
You can do
yeah, cool. So he's just using that little wand-looking thing. It's just like a weird, rickety-looking piece of wood with like veins of metallic. What?
Veins.
Not like veins, like ore seemingly running through this wood. Anyway, so, huh? Yeah. Anyway, so he's
100 gold worth, I think.
It's more than that. So it just sort of levitates in front of him as he starts slowly reciting an incantation. Quietly.
So you'll watch this focus levitate into the air, and Gunner's eyes also closed and concentrating deeply.
Like this.
Because of the time it's taken, is it possible to make it?
Yeah. So within that 10 minutes, you can do whatever you want. What do you want to do?
Yeah, can either of you see in the dark?
Face nods
Can you at
in your
least
direction.
peek through the door?
I'll follow Hosea. It's good. I don't know, I guess Make a stealth.
Yeah.
Do you want to make a stealth check?
That's
if you want to go up stealthily. You can do
Yeah.
it.
And also, I say, can you tell me if it's actually dark in there, or if this is some form of illusion?
I can try and see if it is of an illusion. Are you rolling 2d20s for
Advantage.
how so?
Elven Cloak.
Thank you. Just want to make sure.
Mind you, I didn't roll.
Like, fuck.
So,
Oh wow, okay.
I didn't roll fantastically, but that's
What do you mean? It's a +9.
17
Okay. 17 in total.
in total. Yeah.
Osei goes first, and you all watch as Rook and Osei together as a team move slowly up. And Osei looks around the corner, this small, a few centimeter crack between the wall and the doorway and the door. And she actually goes into, not really paying any attention to these tendrils of black smoke, which you, Rook, notice as you get closer and closer to the door and the building in general. Feel this cold seep into you. And you look down and you notice that your hands have slightly gone blue.
Mm.
And you feel a shiver rattle you. You look up and you see Osei is looking down at her hands as well, and as she puts her hands on one hand onto the doorway.
I'm
Please.
so sorry. I just have to let everyone know that my little sister, who is 12, just sent me a video from Vietnam,
Wow.
and she's watching us right now.
No.
Like,
Thank you so much for
she just
watching.
sent me this.
Aw.
Hi Sophia, I love you and I miss you.
Say hi to them, Sophia.
Thanks so much for
Hi
watching.
to the Gardini family.
Thank
So
you so
that
much.
like gave me a real wholesome feels. I haven't seen them in a year.
Like brown bread.
Thanks so much. You watch as Osei puts her hand onto that door frame, and the door itself, as you go and warn her, you notice that the door is ice, and her hand slips, and then the rest of her movement sort of tilts, and she slams a foot onto the ground, which makes a bit of an echo through the room. She didn't roll very well on this sneak check. At the same time, yeah, you rolled well. At the same time, you hear and right. You see a bolt, a crossbow bolt gets slammed into the clavicle of Osei, and she leaps backwards. The force of whatever this is a big crossbow bolt. The force of whatever it has fired at her just takes her off her feet, and you watch as she bounds back about 10 feet and slams back first onto the ground. Her head slams onto the back, the ground behind her, hitting rock, and you can see a little bit of blood start to come out of that, or whatever head wound she has, on top of this large metallic bolt in her shoulder. She's dazed, and you are just frozen. You all watch as this happens as well. Silence comes from within.
So I'm going to rush over to where Osei has hit the ground. And I'm going to cast Cure Wounds at 3rd level.
Okay.
Okay, Osei.
Sure.
Sweet, so that's one.
Did you say you do or you don't?
I do care.
I'm gonna rush over and like just make sure she's okay.
Yep. You rush over to her. It is a large wound. Whatever bolt head was on this is not, looking at it, it's not a fine point. This has weight to it.
I don't know, do you want me to roll like a... seeing that and Amara rushing over, I creep back and take cover on the side of the marble wall.
Yep.
Okay.
Guys, it's not so.
She takes back 21 points of healing.
21.
Yeah, roll.
So you watch as the bolt itself seems to retract, and the wound, as the wound closes, it seems to push away this bolt, and as it comes out completely, you notice that the head of it is not like an arrowhead. It is round and has very small spikes all the way around it, and it's a much larger head than other bolts that you've seen. Weirdly made, but meant to do a lot of damage. But the wound closes cleanly, and you see her
I'm gonna help her up.
take a big breath as you help her up, and she sort of moves her arm. There's a masked figure inside, short, stocky, aiming at us. I do not know his intentions.
Is it dark in there?
No, it is not dark in there. It's light apart from these strands of black ink coming from Cerivia.
Is there any shadows in there, per se?
I did not see any. These Cerivia seems to be in the center of the room, with these other beings around her, asleep or still.
I can catch these things. I should go in first.
Can I hear all this where I am? Or, I cast at will detect demons and fiends.
Okay.
You close your area.
Yep.
Like what I perceive as the area of the...
You'd be able to get close enough to... Well, this place is close enough for you to detect all in that building. It is. But as you close your eyes and you focus on that, on the levels of the Temple of Ilyanar, you seem to not find anything. Nothing of demonic or angelic nature.
I'm going to say I'm going in, and I'm gonna.
Are you going to shadow step in there?
No, I can catch things. I can catch. If this is thrown at me, I can catch it.
Can I put my hand up? So I go.
I think that's an excellent idea, but let's give you a bit of a head start.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take my cloak off and then use my mace, and then kind of prop it up with my mace, and I'm gonna stick this in front of the door, and as soon as the bolt hits it, that's when you should move in. You'll have the best chance to move while they're reloading.
Okay. Either way, I can catch it.
How long is the
But yes.
From, I'm assuming it's double doors.
Just the one.
Just the one.
Slightly open.
Do you want me to pry the door open with my axe and push it for you? Give you a couple of moments to be ready to
I would
catch
rather
it.
not everyone be in danger.
I'll be behind the door waving this.
I'm behind this marble wall.
Make a perception check, Rook.
I won't even be
Yeah,
there.
like,
I feel
it's well
like
done.
I'm casting my spell.
Make a perception check.
Woo! It's not much. 3?
You hear something, a clicking sound of some kind coming from inside. That's all you hear.
Perhaps we should wait for Gunnar to finish his spell. How long has it been?
Probably been a few minutes.
If we wait, what are we waiting for? We know that there's someone in there. We know that they're training a crossbow on us. Or
Might
not
as-
even a crossbow. I've never seen anything.
Clairvoyance tell us how many are in there.
I'm in the middle of casting a spell. I can't
You
talk
can't
to you.
answer. I'm going to look at Thulrum and I'm going to say, hold up your mace.
Alright, I'm gonna get up next to the door and say...
Glad I spent that third level spell.
I'm sorry!
I'm gonna get up next to the door.
Yeah.
Where it says...
Sneakily or not?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and sneak up on it so they don't...
Do that with disadvantage for me?
I'm going to actually, seeing that everyone's trying to be sneaky, I'm going to cast Pass Without a Trace so you can add 10 to stealth.
That's a 13.
With the plus 10 adding modifier? Oh, fuck me.
If
Sorry, Sophia.
You suck. But it doesn't matter.
Yep.
Because that's all part of the plan, to let them know that somebody's there.
Look at me!
Well,
I'm coming in! From your understanding, you seem to be quite sneaky.
Okay.
As your feet make a clang, a very soft clang on the floor below as you make your way to the landing that leads into the door, this very short, I guess, piece of balcony, as it were. And what are you doing?
I'm looking at Amara and be like,
Does any bolts come out the mace?
I feel like you haven't put the
I haven't
mace up
poked
yet.
it out yet. I'm waiting for you to be like, I'm ready.
Oh, right. I'm going to move on up and be ready.
What are you doing, Rook?
I might. I've never done this before, but I'm going to get down on one knee, get the bow out, look down as if I'm praying, and I'm casting Conjure Animal.
Okay.
And
When you say bow, your bow or the other bow?
my bow, oh, the other bow.
On the task?
On a tar. And I, underneath my inner murmur in my voice, on a tar, guide me and aid as support.
As you all watch, I think, Amara, you're aware, Thulrom, you are not. You notice as you are looking back, seeing if everyone's ready, Rook suddenly has a hand of pure silvery metal, and outward, driven from his hand and attached to that limb is an enormous longbow of the same color metal with this beautiful silver strand, and a bow already, and an arrow already notched. And what animal are you conjuring?
I
Transformers.
I'm going to conjure a saber-toothed tiger.
What the fuck?
That's amazing. You watch and you hear this as beside you this ethereal, wispy white and blue large beast, canine, a cat appears with these large 2 teeth that go beyond, these fangs that go beyond the top jaw downward. And the first thing it does is nuzzle up against you, and immediately afterward goes into a stance of readiness.
I conjure that from my mind, from when we were traveling in Breland and we saw those tigers and things. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's flag it for you.
It's right next to you, looking exactly the same as that image
Okay, cool.
in the distance in the fields.
I'm going to, now that I'm ready, I'm going to say, Thulrom, put up your mace.
I'm going to stick my mace out and have it move out in a, just not just stick it out, but have it like that.
Okay, I'll allow that. As you use your mace as though it's itself a person, as it goes around, you hear another thud.
As soon as I hear that, I'm going in.
Alright. It immediately hits with a true strike of the mace and ricochets off going upward, hitting the ceiling and causing splinters of wood to shatter above you.
As she charges past the mace, I'd like to cast light on it, so that she's silhouetted by this bright light behind her.
Okay.
Fuck.
Amara, as you walk in, for anyone within, they would see this beautiful light shining, and Amara seemingly angelic. As you race in, what are you doing?
I'm gonna, you know how in defensive training they tell you to zigzag rather than run straight? I'm zigzagging.
Alright.
And what do I see?
Make a perception check as you are zigzagging around. I'll get you to.
Oof.
Perception, right?
Yep.
21.
21. You look in, and as you're moving darting from one side to the other.
Not the whole length of the
Yeah,
room.
yeah, of
just
course. Of course. Just short burst. You see a familiar rectangular room with that familiar spiral staircase going up to the second level, a short ceiling. The beds have been removed from this level. They are non-existent. What you see is a cloaked, wooden masked figure that is in the middle of putting another bolt into this enormous heavy crossbow that he's heaving with two hands, two large hands, and starting to point in your direction. But seeing you, this being steps back in surprise. You then see, a few feet away, a kneeling Sarivia, this same tabaxi warden, this dark fur, cat-like creature, this humanoid with this grey cloak over her.
Stop when this happens.
Yep. She has currently 2 staves that she's holding, one in each hand, and a peaceful, closed-eyed look, looking at nothing, as these dark, black, smoky tendrils are emanating from her and are surrounding each strand, is touching at the end of it a single Kalashtar form. And there are probably about 20 to 25 of these still breathing but unmoving otherwise figures in these familiar cloaks of white of Ilyanar. And you hear, as though echoing, though this room doesn't account for it, the voice of Sarivia. And she says, "You have arrived, Amara." As this stocky creature now has this bolt now fastened and ready to strike again. But before it fires, it looks over at the voice and lowers it slightly, not saying anything. And it's been probably seconds now that any of you all have now heard any other sound from within. What are you doing?
Send the tiger.
Yeah, can I get my... I don't know. Has Keen Smell has advantage on wisdom and perception checks?
So essentially what you can do is you can say, I want this creature to sense anything from within.
Yeah.
It won't, it can use its own senses, yes. And it can conjure animal.
Conjure?
Same thing.
Conjure animal, yeah.
That's right. That's a very quick.
No, conjure animals, yeah.
Do you have the spell in front of you?
Yes.
Can you read it out for me?
It's long. You summon face spirits that take you...
Can you find anywhere that says that it can communicate with you?
Oh, yes. They obey any verbal commands that you issue to them. No action required.
Yep. So they know what you're saying to them. Can they talk back to you?
Can I see what you're doing?
Or would just act as that creature?
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't think it can. It could be something.
I just wanted to make sure.
I think it can understand me, but I can't understand it unless
So
maybe I know Fae, because it says it's a Fae spirit.
It's a Fae spirit, isn't it?
Yeah, you summon Fae spirits that take the form of beasts that and appear in unoccupied spaces.
What languages do you know?
Not Sylvan.
Sylvan.
Yeah.
Okay. Then in which case, yeah, it'll understand you. And what are you commanding it to do?
Just to like take a little cheeky look around in the door.
Okay. Roll a perception check for it.
With advantage? Because there's advantage on perception checks.
Yeah, of course.
So... 15?
15.
Oh, 15, 18.
You get a sense that it does see the Sarivia tendrils, although you're not looking through its eyes. But for some reason, somehow, you seem to be aware of what it knows.
Yeah.
but you're not quite sure as to the how. But you sense the Rivia, the tendrils, and this being. Only in a quick flash though, not enough information to really get a clear understanding.
So we know if Amara's there.
The quick image saw Amara darting, but then that image disappeared as quickly as it arrived.
I'll get it to lurk inside. And get a better idea of what's going on.
You look around and you just see this wispy, cloudy cat, large, almost like a tiger-like, but more like a cheetah. It seems to just skulk in, not taking any threatening action against you or anything else around it. Simply observing. Thulroms, what are you doing? As you watch this creature as well enter.
And Rook's still standing next to me. I'm gonna pull out my mace and shield and say, we should go in. What's that?
And at this point, you have finished casting the spell. And as you still have your eyes closed, you see within the room. You are using sight and sound.
Can't do both. I can only do one or the other.
Okay, what would you like to choose?
Sight.
Alright. You notice that there is the tabaxi that you know that you met before, with the staves on the ground, her kneeling, her eyes closed, the stairway leading up, the tendrils, the Kalashtar around. Everything is within your sight. You notice nothing else unusual apart from the look of the saber and Amara in the midst of zigzagging, avoiding any other attack.
Cool.
Doing anything else at the moment?
I'm just trying to figure out whether I can do anything else while I'm casting the spell. It doesn't say
concentration.
It is concentration, but it doesn't say that I can't move.
Correct. That's right. You can move. You can do other things. It's only if you want to cast another concentration spell that you would that you need to negate that one.
Yep. Would you say I would see? Would I be choosing between my sight and the sight of the sensor, or am I getting? Okay. So at the moment, all I can do is hear these guys.
Are you going in, Thulroms?
I'm gonna walk back towards Rook and say, I'm gonna go in.
Let's continue.
As you go on.
Can I continue in stealth?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, I was gonna say, send the cat first.
The cat's already in there.
Okay.
Cat's in there.
I should have followed closer behind the cat. I'm gonna stealth in as well.
Sure.
If they're within 30 feet of me,
They are.
they would still get the plus 10 to stealth.
Yeah. Do it again with the stealth if you want to. Yep. Advantage and plus 10. Disadvantage for you, Thulroms, plus 10.
Better that time.
That's 10.
25, Rook.
34.
34. Okay, cool.
That is 24.
24. Okay. You both now.
His new god is actually Ilyana.
Yeah.
With the sudden onset of anxiety, you take extra care in making sure that you're not seen with this sudden barrage of an attack and this and Osei behind you and making sure she's now not the first in, but in between yourselves. You all sneak in very quietly, and you all sort of hug the wall that is where the door is, and you all notice what everyone else has seen.
Is there any pillars or anything I can get behind, or
There's nothing. There's just a small rectangular room with the Kalashtar on the ground, a staircase, but even the staircase isn't enclosed. It's just like a brass-looking stairway with white stone steps go around.
With my new vision of the area, how many feet would it be from my animal companion to the, not the enemy, but
10 feet?
10 feet? Okay. Okay, I'm going to get it to just come back a little bit and hug the other side of the room that we're not on.
Alright. As you all are poised and in the room, you hear a voice now come from this stocky creature as this crossbow of wicked potential is lowered to the ground and touches the ground, still loaded. Stop! Please! You know her?
They're my friends.
Who?
What do you mean who?
All of them?
Yes.
Okay, calm down.
Calm down. You shot my friend.
I didn't know who you were. This wooden mask muffles some of the tone, but certainly is an alerted figure. Who are you?
Since hearing that, I'll get the animal companion to walk up to Amara and kind of rub its coat against the back of her legs like a cat does.
It does so.
This is my cat.
Speak up.
I'm Thulrom, a cleric of Ado. I pull out my dragon head sigil.
Are you honourable, Thulrom?
Ado is an honourable god, yes.
Thulrom, I think he said, "Are you honourable?"
Yes.
Deception.
And I obviously made myself visible with that answer to him. Rebuttal.
Who are you?
Rook.
You're very hidey.
Yes, well, I make do.
What's your Rook? Is it?
Correct.
Are you honourable, Rook?
Am I honourable?
That's what I'd ask.
Many would say I am.
Good. You're one of these. Are you a Villianar?
Is that a joke?
No. Not all the Kalistar are.
Yes, this is my temple. Thank you.
Welcome back.
Yes,
I guess.
fine welcome that you showed.
I'm here guarding.
Okay. This is Osei.
Nice to meet you, I say. It's good to meet you. Will you not show your face? Not yet.
You
Says
should.
the stocky creature. Why?
Because I said.
Make a persuasion check. Or intimidation, whichever you feel like you'd prefer.
They're the same modifier.
Persuasion then.
10.
10 in total. I will not yet anyway.
What are you guarding against?
Well, I was just told to guard here. I'm...
And fire a crossbow through the throat of anybody who comes to worship at your temple.
Not worship? How do I know that you're here to worship? How do I know you're not here with them?
He has a point, you know.
Amara, your temple is very inhospitable.
My temple has been attacked, so...
So I know. And this one's trying to keep it at bay. And she's the one that asked me to guard.
I'm gonna look at her and I'm gonna say... I guess things aren't good.
You're talking to Cerevia?
Yeah.
You hear a voice back, and it again almost echoes in the room in a light tone. No, it is not Cerevia's voice. We are under siege here. It is not safe. I am dreaming. I am almost overcome.
I told you we shouldn't get stuck in a siege.
Can you break free?
I cannot. I am holding them at bay. They are strong here.
So I've heard.
The tug of war is almost over. tell Torix that he can go. He can leave safely.
Are you performing a ritual here?
Is that the guard?
Yes.
Hey, Torix, you can go.
Are we about to be attacked by something in the monastery?
Because if so,
There's about to be let loose.
if so, Torix, you should probably stay. Or at least leave that crossbow.
I have nowhere else to go. I'd prefer to stay. This is where I ended up. This is where I thought I'd be hidden.
Torix, take your mask off.
Let's see how honorable you are. His large hand breaks this string that holds and held this wooden mask on. And beneath, you noticed initially that there was a glint of yellow between his sleeve and the glove that was hiding his hand and arm. And then his mask reveals a face of pure yellow metal, with these eyes that have the same color. His lips and his teeth of a gold as well. His cloak still hiding about half of his forehead, but definitely dwarven in features. This large nose, hairless. Yes.
I'm going to telepathically speak to Amara. This is the dwarf. This is the one that was hiding.
Speak back to him in his mind.
We saw this in rope, remember?
Yeah, very vaguely. In your mind.
He's one of the dwarves that they appeared, this race of dwarves with gold in their veins.
As they're having this conversation, can I make a check to see if I noticed that from the description that we had in Greenwood about the
You remember. You remember that there is or was a missing race that had been rumored to exist.
I'm going to say wait, and I'm going to say that out loud to Gunnar, and then I'm going to look at Cerubia and say...
I'm outside still.
Oh, right, never mind. Okay, good to know.
He was supposed to be in rope, though.
Do I get to respond to you? Because I was using my ability before. Okay. Okay, let me come back to that. Cerubia. Who is left?
Sean, me, and you.
I'm going to say, Cerubia, I have the wand.
I'm going to flick to audio so I can see where I am. I'm going to slowly walk inside.
You overhear this conversation. Then we are almost done, it seems, with this plight. But to finish it, at least to hold them at bay long enough for others to join this battle. If you have Ilyanar's weapon, you must sleep. What's she saying? What does that mean? Says Torix.
So we all heard that.
Yes, you did.
I'm not sure, Amara.
Sleep or dream?
One will follow the other.
What about my friends?
If you would have them aid you, their powers together.
But what about Barclays?
I don't receive a reply from Sarivia on that.
That was Modelly's
Yeah,
case.
sure.
Barclays might have to sit this one out. I feel like now is the time. Our friend, or your friend, seems to be in a weakened state.
I think you're right.
We
If
actually
Torix
have-
is going to stay here, maybe
We have a
Maybe
saber-toothed
he can-
tiger.
maybe he can greet Barclays. If he gets here, Barclays knows we're here, right?
Perhaps.
Who's Barclays?
Our friend.
What's he look like?
He can be trusted, and I'll describe Barclays.
Very well. I can let him know what you guys, what you all are doing, if you want.
Send word to him.
I, did you not say you would come here?
Guys,
Sorry.
can you message him?
Yeah.
Good. Then I guess we should sleep.
When all stand guard, maybe we can discuss.
How does this work? How are we going to sleep and help you?
I don't know.
You hear a voice now again. Sarifia's echoey voice say, I can. I must overtake your minds as you lay next to other Kalashtar here. You will not notice the passing of time as a normal sleep does. However, we are currently trapped in their land. Now, if,
Right now?
yes,
We are.
no, I am.
Oh.
You will be too soon.
So we can't leave?
Your physical form will be guarded,
I don't like this.
but you will travel with me. You may not find me in this realm, but do not worry, they will find you. And keep your minds shielded, because anyone can get lost here and overtaken by these creatures who
We're
rule
here.
this.
Where are you? Are you in Dal
Yes.
Quor? Is that wand ready? I thought it was broken.
It was glowing.
What? What?
Are you saying this out loud?
Yeah.
A response reaches your ears and it says, from Sarivia, Leonard has chosen you to wield this, Amara. When you enter their realm is when the power of this will be revealed.
So, will you all sleep with me?
What?
I deserve that.
So yeah, Thorum's gonna pull out his bedroll.
He reveals his transstand.
I'm just gonna kind of. So any of the sleeping folk there, we just want to pull up next to them.
Pull up in my full
The way that I'm describing this is tentative and unsure. That's how I'm acting it. That's how Thorum's going. Like, okay, I guess I'll just lay my bedroll out next to one of them. I'm gonna, if they're looking a certain way, I'm gonna go onto the offside so they're not looking at me while I'm sleeping.
Sure.
I'm gonna go to my bedroll and go, is this it? Is this what we do?
Thorm, I haven't done this before.
I thought there would be warm milk for everybody.
I'm gonna, just before I commit to this, I'm gonna say out loud, sorry, if you have any last minute advice, this would be a good time. And then I'm gonna find someone comfy, near Saribia.
I'm gonna tuck my head in the pillow and whisper, follow Ado. Oh, I think I heard some wisdom.
As you lay down first, everyone notices Your head hits the floor, and as it does, a smoky black tendril of grey and black and white streams out of Serivia's side, and you see it coming towards you slowly but purposefully in your direction. And as it, you feel a touch of simply cold on your hand, and your eyes shut, and you know no more. You all watch as Thulroms simply falls asleep.
Again.
From Laura.
I watched this and similar thing. Bed roll out. Well, I've still got my bow out. I just kneel down again, make a quick prayer. Onatar, protecting my mind. And
You see that you close your eyes before you feel that cold on your arm, and you also become unconscious.
It was like, if anything happens, try and get out with them and run.
Okay.
Okay. And then I've said my little scenario thing, and I'm gonna.
As your head almost hits the floor next to Serivia, you don't feel your hand against your cheek, but another warm. And you look over and looking directly at you, eyes open, is Sonari on the same level as you. And she whispers into your being, we'll be there together. Be strong for her, for you, for me, for your friends, for your mentors, for Shan and for Corbett. This must succeed. Hold the ones aloft. Take that which you have been given, and let it guide you. And you fall asleep, Gunnar?
Just curious about what they said before about time passing. You say it does or it doesn't pass differently?
The understanding was that it doesn't.
Pass differently.
Sorry, no, it does. Sorry, it seems as though it was described as sleep. When you're asleep, time seems like it doesn't pass. That's all you know. Although I will say with that very high roll you made, you do know that there is a difference in time and how time passes between the material plane and this particular dream state.
So that time dilation, is it slower here than it is there?
Yes.
Okay.
But you're not quite sure about how much, but it is.
That's okay. I'll talk to you about that later.
Sure.
I will get to sleep.
Okay. And you all...
I'm gonna quickly pee, and
I
I feel like
this is an imperative part.
I'm worried about missing things.
That's right. When you need to go, you need to go.
Amara dies.
Everyone in Amara is no longer with them.
We should just hide.
Yes. Everyone just go behind the curtain.
And just obviously dangling.
I do need to pause just for a moment because the next few things that I'll be saying does have a need for everyone to hear. Which is basically just chill. Hopefully everyone's enjoying the second half of this stream this evening. Hopefully the sound is okay. More feedback.
Everybody that came in that raid as well, that hung around, thank you so much for staying. Hopefully we can see you next week. We're here every Tuesday at 6:45 Yeah, 6:45. They should be out
Yeah.
hopefully 6:45.
That's right. But if you're here and you haven't yet, we'd love your support with whatever you can, whether that be a follow on Twitter or if you want to subscribe, so we can put we can use that to increase the amazing setup that we've got here. Anything that you can offer would be amazing. Thank you so much in advance. Even just commenting in the chat, just saying you're here, saying hi, we'd love to hear from you. And actually, one other shout out while we're on the pause. Any feedback from you, not just about the audio, but about my storytelling, if there's anything you can see improve, anything that you've seen in the stream so far that you think, I had this great idea, if you want to share it, things that you do in your own stream, let us know, that would be lovely. And back to it. So, as your eyes close, immediately afterward they open. You feel beneath you this breeze of grassy, feeling beneath you. And you look down and you see that an illuminescent, tall strands of grass are just weaving through a small breeze, back and forth. And you all open your eyes and adjust to this weird light around you, this greenish blue that envelops you.
Look towards my companions. Are you well? Do you sound?
As you say that, even to yourself, Thulrom, your voice distorts, and it sounds deeper and repeating in this mist of thick air that's around you. You see your companions and you all see yourselves. Osei also starts to speak and her voice shatters against the wind and you can hardly understand with this. It's as though your eardrums have burst, but you feel no pain as you hear this warbling in the air.
This is inconvenient.
I'm going to look at Amara and then go,
I'm gonna communicate with them all telepathically and say, are you guys okay?
And that appears clearly in your mind. You hear that without distraction, without a disturbance.
I'm going to throw a big thumbs up and I rub my tummy. I'm hungry.
I just stare blankly and then look away.
Go on.
I'm going to close my eyes. I'm still casting clairvoyance. Can I see our bodies sleeping back in the material plane?
You look beyond whatever veil of distance this is, and you see the room and your bodies and Torix at the door, or just before, aiming a crossbow at whomever might enter.
And how fast is time passing there? Does it seem like it's crawled, like slowed to a crawl, or is it?
Make a perception check with your own eyes, seeing through this.
That was good. 22.
As you look down, the only movement you see, Torix is still. The breathing that you yourself and others are making, you can hardly see it. It's as though you're not breathing at all. But every so often, this what would be a very quick twitch of someone's nose, or a shift as though someone is having a dream and they're moving with the dream, but it happens extremely slowly. Beyond you, or as your eyes focus on the immediate luminescent grass in front of you, and then look beyond, you see enormous green large pillars, straight as though as tall obelisks that are jutting out of the ground in all angles, some floating in the midair, some dug deep into the ground. You see as well softly swirling tornadoes, slowly moving around of green and blue lightning, and leaves that shift with the grass as well, of brown and pinks.
Did you say lightning?
The slow moving cyclones, these large whirlwinds, have these cracklings of lightning within.
Are they far away?
Most of them are, and enormous in nature.
I turn to Amara and say, do you know how to navigate this planescape?
This warbling.
Just not understanding at all, hey. I see that his mouth has moved and sound has come out. So I'm gonna telepathically communicate with you and allow you to communicate back and say, huh?
Can you navigate this planescape?
Do I feel like I can? Like,
You haven't moved yet. You just simply open your eyes.
I'm going to take one step.
As you try and get up, your movement slows. And it's as though you have these enormous weights on your arms, and you try and get up, but you reminisce and you have a deja vu of dreams that you've had where you tried to run away from an entity or something chasing you, and those leaden boots simply cannot move, and it's as though you're sliding and your feet are underneath sand as you cannot get further away.
What does that look like from my perspective?
From your perspective, you see
Moonwalking.
it's a blur of movement. You see that her form shifts and her arms seem like they're ethereal as she moves upward in such a slow manner, but then quickly and then slowly again, as though it's a distorted way of rising from the ground. It's unusual, and to say the least. But eventually you do get there, Amara. You do stand.
Do I take my one step?
You do.
I'm gonna look at Rook and say, in his head, until further notice. Not easily.
And then I assume I was standing.
You haven't yet. You can if you want.
Yeah, I'll try and get up.
You feel that same feeling, and it seems to take a minute, whereas it should take only moments, but you do manage to rise, and you feel the same heaviness on you. A sailor's the same.
I'm gonna touch my chest where I remember the wand being and see if I can feel it.
It's one thing in your area that's glowing, and it's glowing the brightest.
Ugh.
And as you all watch, you almost feel a reverberating coming from Amara as this thing is glowing a bright yellow and white in your immediate vicinity of this paddock. It looks like a paddock, and you look over and you notice that you're not the only beings in this vicinity.
I'm gonna cloak you up,
Mhm.
pull it across, be like, don't look at me.
Good.
Can I, again, the at-will spell, detect if there's any fiends or infernal?
His face is too happy. I don't like this.
You do manage to still be able to cast the spell, but nothing comes back to you. There's no fiends or demons in this area currently. There are, as you look around, other humanoid figures, blurry, ethereal, not ghostly, some faces and scenarios are playing out are all around you and appear and disappear. You see a small girl, this dwarf girl, pat a dog who turns into a female woman, and then they suddenly move swiftly like a river and fish upon a river that just appears out of nowhere, close by, and they hook in a whale, but the size of a small cat, and that image then disappears. Another vision in front of you consists of a large tree with many branches who speaks, and its trunk is just flesh, a heart beating regularly within, of an enormous proportion, and a human male looking around that tree shouting hoarsely, "I am dreaming!" And then the tree and the human disappear. Flowers erupt beneath you of yellow, and a boy, an elf, plays through them, of about 2 years old, skipping and giggling and running, arms flailing through, squealing, and stopping in front of you with a curious look.
Does it look familiar?
Then he forms a wide grin and then plays on. You see this large elephant simply floating, probably 3 or 4 times the size of any elephant you've ever seen, just floating above you with 3 beings that you can't make out their form above, just laughing and twirling balloons above them. And that disappears. And then you hear a voice calling, and it is Sarivia who says, in your minds, "You are in the dream world. Everyone who is currently asleep in different areas of this vast plane of existence has some vision, some image of what they are dreaming. Some are nightmarish, some are joyful, some are peaceful, some are happy. Your own dreams might appear and disappear. What you are seeing now are others, whether from Shan or beyond. Do not take notice. Do not get sucked in to this joy. Simply move on and follow my voice, and you will find your way, Amara. Use the wand and know its potential and its aid towards you here. Make a wisdom check, Amara, for me.
Save or check?
Check.
Could you be the save where I get advantage?
Yes. You got this. I believe in you.
Okay.
I believed. I believe.
19.
19, okay. As you are trying to still come to some sort of stable position, you feel automatically your hand goes down to where this second broken piece of the wand is. You still possess it.
Mm.
And you rummage, and it, with a thought, it appears in your hand. This blackened, broken, burnt rod. And then your other hand automatically comes to your clavicle here, just underneath your neck. And you feel not the physical, but a warmth, familiar warmth. And you look up instinctively, and you notice there is a single being that is floating down, falling towards you and everyone around you. This young girl with golden hair becomes slightly larger and larger. Make another wisdom check for me.
Why did you knock?
Blame me.
11.
Okay.
Yeah, my fault, guys. 100%. Sweaty forehead kiss.
Beyond this figure that's floating downward, her back towards you, so she's falling, free falling, sort of down with her face looking up, so you don't see her face proper. But suddenly, a flying carpet of enormous proportion floats by and catches her and carries her a little bit away from you, and then leaves her to fall a little bit. But she is a fair way beyond now from where you currently are, more towards these green pillars, where suddenly a fence appears as some sort of barrier, tall and wooden and white, like a picket fence, but with these barbed spokes at the top. And you hear screaming as this Kalashtar suddenly appears and looks towards this picket fence, as you see corpses of other Kalashtar sticking on them, unmoving, and then they disappear when this young girl starts to move away from you, being pulled by some sort of wind. What are you doing?
I stand up.
Yep.
As I do, I notice that it was hard for the other folks. I'm going to rest my hand on my mace. And in my mind, I'm going to say, are you with me in this place?
You hear a response in your mind, and Doribaliuk's, the Coatl spirit within, whispers as though he is a little distant, not as strong as you would think him to be. Yes, I am here, Thulron of Idaho, but be warned, my help you will not find here as strongly. Leave this place, for it is not a domain of Edo's faithful. You may... his arm does not reach this far. It is a place that can be of joy and peace, but the Quori live here. Do not let them enter your mind.
You stand up.
You have.
So, how was it for me as I...
Heavy. This is like these sandbags were trying to pull you back down, but you eventually got there without aid.
Oh.
I knew it.
I'm going to... So I'm standing on the fluorescent grassy knoll, right? Fluorescent grass beneath my feet. I'm going to stare at a spot on the ground, and with all the concentration I can muster, I'm going to think of a white flower.
Make a wisdom check for me.
That is...
What was it, a constitution?
A wisdom check.
That is a 14.
14. As you think of this white flower, the one thing that provides you with this image is a remembrance of a time where you did remember a dream, and you were simply walking away from a tall, dark tower. You were free. You were feeling the ground beneath you, and there were white daisies. And in front of you, the same image of a white daisy appears. Small, but growing. And it becomes larger and larger, distorted. It grows 2 heads with petals all around each one. But bright and fresh. Almost to your height.
I turn to the others. You see this?
And yeah,
I observe that, and I turn to Amara. I don't know if I can still talk.
For the next... one moment, please. An hour, you can talk to me.
I must admit I've not felt like this since I was younger. Those dreams that you have when you try to run from nightmares and you can never get away.
Don't focus on them. You heard what everyone heard what Cerevia said, right? Don't focus on them. Remember, we have to be here for a reason. And it's not the distraction of these dreams. As I'm saying that, I'm going to focus as much as I can on the wand, both pieces. I'm going to be listening out for Cerevia's voice consistently to kind of guide me.
I rebuttal. I must admit, a friend once told me, Purback, the dreams are what we're to make of them. We are in a dream, yes?
We're in a different plane of dream.
Can I thinking like lucid dreaming? Can I if it's my dream, imagine that I'm free from the restraints? 12?
12. You close your eyes and you continually think, I'm in a dream, I'm dreaming. As you open your eyes and you try and move again, remembering that if you know you're in a dream, you can do anything to your will, but then the same heavy foot goes one step in front, and you know that it is different here. It's more than just knowing you're in this place. There's something else there's another force here that's holding you in.
Do I still see the figure on the carpet flying away?
The carpet has then left and disappeared, and this figure is a fair way away now, more towards these green pillars, and this weird, and towards these whirling winds, but is still falling a bit more slowly, this young girl. And then you hear the same voice of Cerevia, follow her.
Gonna look at the others and I'm gonna say, in all of their heads, I'm gonna say, we have to follow her. Let's go. And I'm gonna
just hold my hand up for 1 sec. I'm gonna look at the back of that figure approaching the column. I'm gonna concentrate really hard, not on moving towards her or moving anything, but I just want the space between the grassy knoll that we're on and where they are, because I can't talk to Shira here. There they are, just to not be there anymore.
Sure. Wisdom checklist.
No. That is 21.
21, okay. You close your eyes and open them briefly, and as you do, the one thing that you do have whispered into your mind is one of something so far away that you've never heard before, but you already know who is with you. You hear a stay safe, Thulrom, my champion. And the voice of Adu himself pushes the scene in front of you as though the grass has squashed you all quickly, with just standing where you are, move in a fast forward, directly forward, and the space between you and this figure quickly and nauseatingly ends. Everyone make Constitution saving throws.
Oh, that's cold.
Good.
Oh, that's bad. That's very bad. This is 3.
17.
Can I try to, if I'm gonna vote, can I try to subtly do it? Pass it down a trace?
In your mouth.
You love it, but
I love
don't
it.
drink
Take
it.
it.
Sorry.
just trying to find his zero modifier.
That's a 15.
15, alright. Only Amara gets affected by this. You're considered poisoned. As
No, yeah, you're right.
as you
Not level 10 yet.
That's right, as you feel your entire body just become lethargic and you do throw up.
Thulram!
I say his head. I don't feel like I can take anything on as well now. Bad boy.
As you do move forward, go on.
Do I understand what she means by that?
Yeah, I would say so.
You feel? What do you mean?
I feel so sick that it could affect me for a while. Like maybe it's though I've drank something very poisonous.
That'll do. So I'm going to cast Lesser Restoration on Amara, knowing now that she's probably poisoned.
Right. As you hold out your hands, is it a range?
It is touched, so I'm going to battle through the weight of the sand.
It takes you what you feel like a few minutes, but then it almost feels like not, as though in one moment to another, the image of that you all see, Thulrom is at Amara's side, and you are now free of the affliction. You feel yourself lighter again. This figure falling closer again. Amara, make me another wisdom check when you're ready.
You got this.
12.
12? Okay. You feel the glow of this second piece, and suddenly you feel yourself breathe in and breathe out with a huge gush of wind behind you. Suddenly you see in front of you another image of possibly what someone else is dreaming in this very moment in time, and a dwarf is battling another, and you can see just cuts and bruises and yells of victorious glory as one fells the other, and then the deceased dwarf becomes what looks to be this shadow of its own self, and then two of them appear, and then they disappear. And then this enormous whirlwind gets closer, and you hear a voice, Cerivia, saying, within lies one of them. And then in front of you, Amara, you see before you a golden second piece of Amara's might. Make a dexterity check if you're trying to grab it.
Hell yeah, I am.
With this leaden arm.
I thought you were going to say with disadvantage, and then I was going to be like,
Yeah, can I give her it?
You can make your own roll if you like, if you want to try and grab it.
A 9.
A 9?
The monk that has a dex roll of 9.
Your arm reaches out, but the weight of your arm just slackens, and it's still there, it's still glowing, and you see that this figure floats now. No longer looks like she's falling, but lands softly in front of you, and she seems to have this golden hair in these white ponytails, and this simple white dress with a golden loop of cord, these sandals, and pale white skin, golden eyes as she looks up at you all, and gets flung backwards with a and gets further and further away from you, as though something is pulling her with all their might and speed, and she disappears again within this swirling lightning strike of a cyclone, which is then moving closer. You hear another voice beyond, something other than Cerivia's now. Well, I see. We have guests. This flowing wind moving the voice beyond. And beyond this whirlwind of air, leaves, and lightning strikes, you see these many arms of black and this white face that looks simply like a mask. That smiling, a smile that is not inviting, move outward of this whirlwind and then back in as it seems to, with its smoky black form, pull this young girl into the center of this whirlwind. Make another wisdom check.
Can I ask?
Yeah, actually.
Did we?
There's so much better.
Do I notice that voice from when we attacked the dragon in Dragon's Crown?
It is a similar, yes, it is a similar voice.
Like I cast something.
Check.
I could see the wormy thing inside of it.
You didn't see a wormy thing.
I described it.
Sorry, yeah, you know what they look like.
Yeah.
This particular large, cloaky black figure, however, with this white mask at the center, didn't seem to look like this other creature that you saw in Dragon's Crown.
Can we communicate with this thing?
Yeah, try.
10.
20.
Yeah.
19.
Yeah, sorry. What was it?
Just a wisdom check.
15.
Okay. As this figure is moving backward quickly, you all instinctively move forward. And you see, as you step forward, a mirage of sorts, an image shoot out of each of you. They are familiar to you. And as you look down at them, they are yourselves. But they are simply young children. They are just standing, blurry, as though a wind is passing through them, and you can see this passing of skin and hair just shimmering. And they all look turn and look at you individually, and then they all look at you, Amara. And in your mind only, they say in unison, Hina is a peace of innocence, of life. You have the strength. You now have the power. You see the large golden half of this wand and the shattered black connect in midair. This blackened piece moving away from your grasp as in midair they meet and they twist and they form this slightly curved, glowing and blackened, sort of a half-half piece of Ilyana herself. And instinctively you reach out for it, and as you do, the children disappear and dissipate. They start to move away and skip, but then just disappear. The circular wind is beyond, and you see behind you this stretching of the body of Osei, her body stretching out behind and moving towards this cyclonic mess in front of you. You now are almost blinded by how close these lightning strikes are, going outward of this whirlwind, and you hear a scream from her as she moves within and out of sight into this form. And then another voice, the same hissing. Come in. Come in. What are you doing?
Do I feel different?
It's simply floating in midair, and you feel no different currently.
You said it's floating in midair.
It's peace.
I'm gonna grab it.
And you don't need a dexterity check this time, as your hand moves over this wand. You hold it close to you, and as you do, you feel different. You do. But you all do. You feel this shift. As suddenly you feel lighter. This weight beyond what's forming this plane dissipate. You are now in your own bubble as you look beyond this invisible barrier and you see the whirlwinds, you see the pillars, you see this shimmering grass, but you can move freely. And you are shaking, you're sort of shaking out like you're outside again, back in the material plane. You all feel as well, you hear a, yes, I am here. Thulrom, Dorabalius will aid. And you feel your psionic powers now become more in line with what you're familiar with. You can quickly feel the power of Anatar look back in your arm. And Amara, you see directly beside you just a nod of approval from the Sonari. And she says to you, they have Ceridia. They now have a say. Save them.
Do I go in? I'm gonna ask her that.
If you want to save them, you must.
Let's go!
Pull out my mace and shield and go say, yes, let's go and get our ghost children selves back.
I call out to the creature. Are you the one that we fought at Dragon's Crown?
You can speak now, and your voice is not warbled or distorted. And as you yell this, the response, weak, dead by your hand.
Our hands.
Here, you are the weaker. In our realm, you will be ours.
Know this. You see me in all of what I wear. And you understand that your creature is now property of mine, and I wear it. And we shall make the same with you.
Then come in.
I'm gonna
Greet me.
I'll look at everyone and I'll be like,
Can I just, one last time, pop back home and check? How we doing?
You are all still there in the same position.
is Barclays there?
You don't see. Although you do notice very briefly that Taurus has moved ever so slightly.
Okay, I'll come back. How close are we to this thing?
It's moving towards you. This large tornado is, and you don't seem to be affected by the winds. Although you were prior to this bubble, it seems to be just moving and traveling closer to you. You're probably about only 30 to 40 feet away from it now. It's enormous.
I'm gonna close my eyes. Hold on to Gunnar.
Come here.
I'm gonna hold my hand out to Rook.
Some Wizard of Oz shit right now.
Go with me. I'm gonna take
5 meters, guys.
a deep breath. I'm gonna close my eyes. And I'll open them again. And then I'm gonna move towards.
Wait! Stop! Wait! I'm gonna cast.
Big power exploding!
Oh, well, I was going to. You start talking. I will cast Fly at 5th level on all of us.
Alright.
Okay.
So I'm gonna concentrate really hard, and you're going to feel something enter your mind. It's going to be just a small, like, think of it like the paperclip version of Gunner entering your mind. But you can feel him there, like sort of like a warm hug from Gunner.
Good.
And suddenly you're like lifting off the ground. But you're in control.
Okay. I'm gonna go back down to the ground. I don't like it.
Okay, you can stay down there if you want.
I'm gonna move towards it.
Okay.
I'm gonna gain a bit of altitude and fly after her. And as you see me flying after you, hear me yell out, "Finally, flying dragon ball!"
Okay.
It'll only last 10 minutes.
And
Don't get too high.
Are you all following Amara as she's going into this?
Following Amara's lead, yeah.
About 40 foot up, yeah.
Cool. So with the Dragonborn and Gunner above, you're flying, obviously.
We're all flying. Amara is running for some reason.
Yep.
Choose
You
to
all
run.
move.
When others would fly, I would run.
You all move easily. This nimbus of light now raining golden. It looks like golden sparks around you, protecting you from this darkness and dreamlike state beyond. You move freely into this whirlwind of chaos, and within, all as though quickly moving from chaos to peace, the eye is large within this whirlwind, and there is calm. And inside you see this creature of white and black with this single face, a mask on top. These enormous, it looks initially as though they are enormous arms, but then you see that on the inside there are spikes, and all around, like the wings of a butterfly, you see many blackened arms that end in hands, about 100 on each side, that make up at the very bottom a wispy like nothingness beneath to make up the feet. And this thing has in its grasp and just moving it weirdly within its fingertips, Osei, on one side on the left, and on the right you see a spinning Surivia as well. And then its voice enters your minds again.
She will not save you here, Callista. You are here now. Her powers will not aid you. Here is my bargain. Choose one to save and escape, or be devoured by me and my kin, and be lost forever.
And that's where we're going to end this
I
evening.
fucking knew it.
Yeah.
Bastard.
How we
Fuck.
can test the theory with that first hand.
Shut up.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, excellent.
Thanks everybody. Thank you.
My very young sister said the DM's voice is spooky.
Sorry if I scared you.
No.
It's all one big act.
Why are you so spooky?
I know.
Too spooky.
Stop being spooky.
Thank you everybody for watching us. Thanks guys for sticking around, and I hope that was all fun and games. We will be here next week to see what Thulroms 4-ish, maybe 5.
Can I also add
Yes, please.
699 followers?
One more.
I also want to give a quick shout out to, if you tuned in tonight from the Facebook group Critters Down Under.
Yeah.
Thank you. had a couple of questions drop, and that was, where can they watch the rest of the campaign? So you can watch the campaign on the YouTube channel. Just be aware, if you are tuning in for the first time, we started streaming this during COVID. Not expecting this to take off as it has, so we don't have every episode.
We do have the last 8.
More.
We have 32 hours of viewing, so you'll catch up.
Yeah. It's a lot.
And we have Twitter, so ask us questions.
We have a Twitter. We're gonna do some more content. It's gonna be a good time.
Another shout out as well to anyone who joined in from the As One community. I saw Trav Prime and a few other folks there. Thank you so much for joining in. It's very good.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you very much for coming to check us out. Appreciate it. Awesome. There's still a week to get your entries in for this amazing prize. Don't forget that. Who's going to be our 700th follower? I don't know whether we can check who that is, but we'll do a huge celebration. And thank you. And we will see you all next week.
One last shout out. Again, thanks so much, Saz the Meeples, for all those subscriptions. Again, if anybody is interested in any D&D equipment, like this beautiful t-shirt that I got from them, I'm not doing any favors for this, but I guess I'll stand up. Fantastic. They have class feature t-shirts, which are super comfortable, particularly in this Australian heat. They're quite breathable, which I found. And they're releasing some really cool glasses too, so keep an eye out on them. Meeplesanddragons.com. Yeah.
Beautiful. Alright guys. Say goodnight. Bonne notte. See you later everyone.
Ciao to voi.
Bye bye.